Hello, gang. Welcome to the stream. Oh, geez. Sorry, we have a bit of an echo. Hello, gang. Welcome to the stream. This is, as always, the Adrel Show, where 3 times a week on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we look at everything World of Warcraft gold making. Today, due to some personal life commitments, we're streaming a little bit earlier than usual. But otherwise, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon GMT. Yeah. Today's stream, we're going to pick up where we left off on Wednesday's stream with setting up a Leatherworker and an Enchanter. So far, I've not leaned too heavily on the alt army. I have maybe between 6 and 8 characters that I've set up professions on. Maybe 5 of those characters, which I've actually spent a lot of time on and effort on. And so we're going to start slowly building out that alt army, right? I'm sure all of us have a bunch of characters that we leveled through remakes or just leveled up otherwise, right? It's always worth slapping professions on them because of the way the new profession system works in World of Warcraft, The War Within, which is the latest expansion. We have the system called concentration, which is basically a regenerating resource that basically allows you to use every single profession as having a cooldown. Right, so you have a limited number of times that you can use sort of worse quality materials and still produce the highest quality items, which in and of itself means that you can make a lot more gold with your alts. And so we want to take advantage of that. I haven't used the concentration system much as excuse me, as regular viewers may be familiar, may be aware of, right? I've talked a lot about concentration, both in the lead up to the expansion as well as during the expansion, but I actually haven't been using up my concentration much, and I need to get better about that because gradually profits are shifting away from the way that I usually do things, which is basically getting very good at crafting one item and then crafting it in bulk at the highest quality. Margins for that are still there. We're not at the point where it's like unprofitable or you can't make any gold with it. I've still been making a good amount of gold with that strategy, but increasingly, if you want to make higher profit margins, and also if you just want to spend less time playing the game, you may or may not be better served by going with a concentration build. So let's go ahead and get into it. To start off with, we will do a little bit of quick cross-realm auction house stuff, just because of the fact that I've been making a good amount of gold by doing this, and this is one of the things that I will recommend anyone who's following the build that we're going to be doing for Leatherworking on today's stream to do. Which is basically selling on other realms, and the way the new expansion works makes it super easy. As you'll see, this guy's a level 10 allied race, right, a Volpera, and so you can basically create, once you've completed the initial quests, you can basically create as many of these characters as you want. They'll start at level 10, and they'll start right in the capital city. For Horde, I generally recommend going Volpera because they get 8 extra bag slots as a racial, which is great for a banker character, right? Because even if you deck your character out with the best bags, right? Let's say this character's earning you a lot of gold, right? You're happy with that, and you decide you want to invest. Oh, geez, 1 second. Why is I'm not seeing the correct screen on stream, which is a little concerning. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, I think I figured out what's going wrong. Sorry about that. Boom, there we go. OBS loves to just like stealth change things. I'll have everything configured properly, and then randomly I'll boot up OBS one day and something or the other will be messed up. But yeah, so what I was saying was that basically what I would strongly recommend Oh, thank you so much for the follow, Gasser Saad, too. Thank you. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? How's your day going? How's your Friday going? Are you making a bunch of gold? Or are you trying to find out how to make more gold? What's up? Let me know. Drop a message in chat. Let me know how it's going. But yeah, coming back to what I was saying is I would strongly recommend that if you're crafting items like gear, profession equipment, things like that are on the server specific auctions, auction houses, which I strongly recommend. I think that's still one of the places that has the most profit and is one of the more difficult markets to get saturated just because of how many servers there are in each region. I would strongly recommend setting up these alts, right? They start at level 10. They start right in your capital city. For Horde, strongly recommend Volpera. Not only do they get 8 extra bag slots, but they also spawn right here, which means you can just fly over to this spot right here, which is the GOAT auction house spot as far as I'm concerned. Alliance would presumably have an allied race that's better for banker alts as well. I generally don't play Alliance, so I unfortunately don't really have too much advice for the Alliance players amongst us as to which race to go with. Honestly, if you're playing Alliance, I would still say that given the fact that auction houses are cross faction, it's probably still not a terrible idea to just roll a Volpera for the 8 extra bag slots alone, which will save you a little bit of gold on the bags, but also just make this whole inventory management system a lot easier. The reason that this works super well in the War Within is that we now have this thing called the War Bank, right? Which is basically available to all of your characters, right? It's a shared bank that's available to all the characters on your account, cross-faction, cross-region. And so basically what you can do is you can craft, whatever items you want to sell on all these other servers on your main server, on your main crafter, stick them in the War Bank like we've done up here, and then just withdraw them on whatever server you're actually trying to sell all these items on. And yeah, if we go ahead and open up our mail here, you can see we have another 41,000 gold in sales at some pretty crazy margins, right? Most of these items don't cost me more than 200 or 300 gold. And I'm seeing here that we've sold some of them for 8,000 gold, which is wild. The burnt rolling pin for 8,500 gold. Weaver cloth gardening hat for 8,000 gold. Right, I mean, and then even in the mid-range, we're selling a bunch in the like 1,500 to 3,500 gold range, and then at the lower end, a couple of items that we sold for like 900 gold. But again, you got to keep in mind that my crafting cost for these is like 100 to 200 gold, so the profit margins are nothing to complain about in these cases. But okay, let's go ahead and actually deposit all of our gold here, 217,000. So we've got about 8 to 18 million on in the war bank there, which means that we're still firmly above 40 million gold, 40.2 million gold. Admittedly, that's because I haven't spent much since Wednesday's stream. But yeah, I mean, it's good gold making all the same. All right, that said, we're also just going to hop onto my main tailor here while we're at it, because we will need to craft a bunch of bracers for us to disenchant. But okay, let's go ahead and get going with leveling up leatherworking and enchanting. And actually, just in saying that, I'm realizing I think we should take probably a quick little break before that, because otherwise we're scheduled to have an ad in about 10 minutes. Hey, Gasser Sad, welcome to the chat. How's it going? Thank you so much again for the follow. Very, very much appreciate that. But okay, sorry, I was saying let's take a quick little break. And then we'll come back and get into the thick of things. Like I said, today's stream we're doing a little bit earlier, and we're also going to be a little bit earlier than usual, just because I have some real life commitments. And second of all, it's also going to be a shorter stream. Unfortunately, the real life commitment I need to get to starts in about 3 hours, so we only have about 2 hours of streaming time, cutting it very close there. But I wanted to stream for as long as possible today, despite the constraints. All right, quick little break, and we'll come back. See you guys in a few. Okay, and we are back. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you guys had a good little break there. Today's stream, we are setting up a leather worker, and I think we talked about it a bit on stream the other day. Oh God, let's hide some of these windows. We don't really care too much about a lot of these crafts and windows, and I know that they do confuse some people just because they look so complicated, right? And we really don't need this many windows up, to be honest. But okay, this add-on, if for those of you who are curious, is called Craft Sim, and I would say is practically necessary, honestly, at this point. I know a lot of people do make a good amount of gold without using it, but I feel like you basically be playing with one arm tied behind your back, which is never a good move, right? Especially in a game as competitive as World of Warcraft auction housing. As competitive as the World of Warcraft auction house is these days, is the way I meant to say that. But okay, first things first, we have gotten ourselves crafted our green profession equipment. And so let's go ahead and equip all of that, right? Because that's going to give us crafting stats as well as some skill. I'm actually working on releasing that video that we put together on stream about the crafting stats the other day. I'll be putting together a condensed little video, still working on my editing skills, so that's why we haven't seen that just yet, but I'm gonna try and release that this weekend, so hopefully that should be up for you guys. But if you are curious about any of the crafting stats, drop a message in the chat or in the comments if you're watching the video on demand later on, and I'll be happy to link you to it. Otherwise, you could just check my channel on YouTube or on Twitch, for that matter. You can check the Twitch VODs. And there's one called Crafting Stats 101, or at least it has that in the title. And that'll link you, that'll give you the little video there. But okay, first things first. Generally, what I'm going to recommend is for most professions that you're that's not the window that I want on stream. I had the window that I wanted to show open, and then I knowingly opened another tab instead. So let me find that real quick off stream, and then switch it back on. All right, so to start off with, for leveling most professions, what I tend to do is come over to a site like wow-professions.com. All right, I'll go ahead and link their leatherworking guide here so that if you guys want to follow along, it's a little bit easier to do so. But basically, I tend to use a site like this. Wowhead has some guides as well, right? There's a lot of different sites out there that you can use. But generally, I like using a guide like this primarily to figure out roughly what amount, like what quantities I need to buy for most of these items. I'm just realizing our vertical viewers can't see that super well, so let's try and remedy that issue here. Is that better? There we go. All right, so yeah, a site like WoW Professions is super handy because it will in the background. Okay. Technical issues as always on the stream. What's up, Master Louie? How's it going? Weird time, but okay. Yeah, so unfortunately, like I mentioned, today's stream was gonna be a little bit earlier and a little bit shorter, just because I have a real life commitment I need to get to this evening. I try not to ever have to move the timing on our streams, just so it's easier for viewers to tune in as regulars. So I'm glad you're able to join despite the weird time slot. But yeah, unfortunately, this was an opportunity that I just couldn't really give up, get out of. So yeah, for today's stream, we decided to do a little bit earlier. But also, given the fact that we did it at a different time slot this Friday, we're not doing a giveaway. But maybe we'll do a bonus giveaway next week sometime. Let's see. I'm excited for the streams that we have coming up for next week. Monday stream at least. Well, so on Monday's stream, we're basically going to be going through setting up a profession from scratch, right? We'll cover two of the builds, a tailoring and an enchanting build that I think is the best starting point for more or less anyone who's trying to get started in gold making. And we'll start right from scratch, right? We'll take a fresh level 70 character and get them set up with the two builds that I recommend everyone has. which is going to be basically a tailor and an enchanter. And yeah, so look forward to that. I'm excited to do that on Monday's stream. And then we may have something cool on Wednesday's stream. Still trying to work that out, but we'll see. Couldn't find a rogue to open my lockbox. Yeah, it's really weird that this expansion you need a level 80 rogue to unlock the lockboxes. I don't remember that being a thing in previous expansions, because I've always had a rogue alt to open up lockboxes, but so you leveled a rogue to 80. What are you finding is the quickest way to level? Because I know on stream, I think it was last week or the week before, we did do a little bit of leveling, not really for any gold making reasons as such, well yet. I think probably having level 80s come season 2 will be pretty lit. Just because of the fact that usually what they did in Dragonflight, right, and what they do in most expansions is that they have a new zone that they add in. They have a new zone that they add in with typically a new faction, and generally to unlock all of the new recipes and the materials and things that you get from that new zone, you need to be level 80. And so that's why I do want to casually start leveling up more alts to 80. And also just so that I'm not spending all of the time in Dornagol just doing auction house stuff, which is starting to get a little old for me even at times, which is hilarious because I spent most of Dragonflight just on Valdragon. Got me Earthen Exploration leveling, got me to level 70 in 4.5 hours. God damn, that's not bad at all. Heck, you throw Gathering on there, like on that tune as well. Although I guess you'd probably be leveling faster. I don't know actually. Did you have Gathering on that Earthen character when you leveled them from 0 to 70, or from 1 to 70? I guess. Dual Gather from 70 to 80. Good call, dude. Gathering kind of has pretty sick experience. I don't gather much, so I wasn't really like, I knew that you could do it, but I didn't think it would be quite that great until I looked at my miner. I have a character that my main blacksmith has mining on it as well, mainly so that he can smelt old world ores for crafting transmog, right? But as a result, when I gather, it tends to be on him. He only has mining, and he's already at level 76 just from the little bit of gathering that I've done on him, which I thought was pretty cool. And I'm sure if you have dual gathering, it's probably pretty quick. How long did it take you to dual gather from 70 to 80? 10 to 70 was flying exploration only. That's still pretty sick, though. Because I guess if you put it into like steady flight mode, you can do that semi-AFK. I may have to try leveling up an alt like that on stream. I feel like the move is to do it. Well, the real move is to do it during the 20th anniversary event and when the Darkmoon Fair is up. Because then you'll get like a 30% experience buff on top of the double exploration experience that you get on another. All right, let me jot that down because that's actually a good idea. I may have to do that. I feel like hopefully the buff can get us down to like 3.5 hours, which is decent enough for a stream, assuming I don't get distracted along the way, which is not a fair assumption to make in the slightest. As my viewers know, I tend to get distracted a lot and sidelined a lot. And now this is an extra alt, so I figured I'd make it alchemy with jewel crafting to supply to vials. So I keep gathering the catch-up knowledge points and then do enchanting and skinning for more. A good call. So I can blue tool and accessories both profs right away. Dude, that would be sick. But yeah, that's definitely a really good call. Because for both alchemy and jewel crafting, I feel like you will need a blue multi-craft tool. And so yeah, if you since you started that character from scratch anyway, it's not like you'd be dropping a profession you care about particularly, right? So yeah, that's definitely the move. Dual gather, get all of the catch-up knowledge points, right? I'm guessing did you pick up a lot of them during the leveling process itself? Because I wonder how much, because it seems like the drop rate on the mining catch-up knowledge points is a lot slower than the herbalism. at least the mining is. I noticed the mining seems pretty slow on my miner, and then I was seeing on Reddit that people were saying that they tend to max out their herbalism a lot quicker than they do their mining, and I wonder if it's just a drop rate thing. Oh, is it the other way around? Herbalism is slower for you than mining? Okay, never mind. Guess I got it backwards. Oh, geez, it feels like that would be painful though, because mining. I mean, admittedly, I haven't spent a lot of time mining. But even the little bit that I did, because I usually do like half an hour at a time before I get bored of it and then just go back to crafting or doing whatever else anyway. But yeah, in that time, it seems like I only get like 4 or 5 catch-up knowledge points. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Put on a podcast and just gather catch-up. Yeah, fair enough. Not a bad move. But okay, coming back to the point of the stream, we are setting up our Leatherworker, and I was basically saying that you want to use a site, well, you don't, I would recommend using a site like WoW Professions or the Wowhead Guide, primarily for the shopping list, right? In terms of what we're actually crafting, I mean, we can roughly follow this list, but by and large, my general strategy for leveling any profession is to focus on 2 things. First of all, you want to focus on the first craft bonuses, right? If you learn the recipe off of the trainer, you're not going to get any artisan's acuity for doing this, but you will get a knowledge point, and that in and of itself is extremely valuable. The second thing I would say is, where possible, you also want to basically see what your profit is on each of the crafts, right? And so let's say you've done all of your first crafts and you still need to get a couple more skill points to unlock more recipes or whatever else. I would recommend, I would recommend looking at, either what's making you the most gold or losing you the least gold, I guess is the other way of looking at it. Or if it's a gear crafting profession, right, then you want to, then the amount of gold that you're actually going to make on it is going to be more or less depending on, what it's selling for. But primarily, you can probably make back a decent bit of your gold by just disenchanting all the items you craft. And that's what we're going to be doing on this guy. This guy has both leatherworking and enchanting as a second profession. And by and large, at this stage of the expansion, I would definitely recommend picking, if you're slapping a profession on someone, and you want to focus on whether it's leatherworking, whether it's enchanting, whether it's inscription, whether it's, tailoring, whatever the profession is, pick enchanting as your second profession. Because the enchanting catch-up mechanic is just so easy to complete and so much cheaper than all the other professions, that it's just a no-brainer, right? It'll help you get so much artisan's acuity so much quicker, that there's really no comparison to it. Potentially, you could take a gathering profession if you want, but that's still going to take a lot more time, energy, and effort. So enchanting is just super, super easy. In this case, I can get 101 catch-up knowledge points, which is basically 505 artisan's acuity. Massive, right? That's huge. And all I really need to do is sit in Dornagle, spamming the one key or whatever I bind the TSM disenchanting window to. Which is a lot easier than, and even more AFK-able, or distractible, I guess, not AFK particularly, than flying around and having to urban mine. What's up, Master Louis? Wait, is this going to keep the rights? The hell? Oh, jeez. More technical issues. All right, sorry, give me 1 second. I don't know what's going on with my stream deck. It's being weird. It's being weird. Let's see, there's a button. Boom. Okay, I think we fixed it. But okay, sorry, I'm trying to open up Master Louis' link here. Just being a little bit careful. I trust you, Master Louis. But, oh, look at that. Master Louis hit 1 million gold. Congratulations. I feel like I need to get like a celebratory animation for the stream. I'm gonna make a note of that. But congratulations, 1,000,000 gold. That's actually a huge milestone. The first million is honestly the toughest. I know people say that about real life as well. I'll let you know if and when we get there. But certainly in WoW, the first million is definitely the hardest, just because you have so little starting capital, and depending on how you are, you may or may not be more risk averse. I think Master Louis, like you said, you really shouldn't be, because it's a video game, and also just the way that WoW works is, if you lose, even if you lose that full 1,000,000 gold, you can make it back by farming without too much difficulty. But still, congratulations. It's a huge accomplishment. But okay, so what I was saying was, I would rely on a site like WoW Professions or the WoW Head Guide, primarily to figure out which mats we need, and roughly how many of them, even if we're not going to use all, follow their path perfectly. And so let's go ahead and start buying mats. Storm Charge Leather. It's saying we need 340. Let's just quickly snap up all of that. And also, just so you guys know, I transferred only about 200,000 gold over to this character, so that we can sort of get a bit of an estimate of how much it costs to level up the profession. Now, the first thing I will say is, obviously I saved a little bit of gold on this character because I crafted my own green profession equipment. Although that's only half true, because for one of the items, it was actually cheaper for me to buy it off the auction house than the tool. It was cheaper to just buy a resourcefulness tool off the auction house than it would have been for me to use a missive to guarantee resourcefulness. So that's what I did. But I would budget, honestly, at this stage of the expansion, if you do what I always recommend, which is, create an alt on a different server, and a server that has the cheapest price for your green profession tools. You can probably get all of your green profession tools for like $5,000 maybe, right? So I don't think that'll add too much to this cost. But we bought all of the mats. That cost us about 10,000 gold. So far we're about 15,000 gold into presumably level up leatherworking to, let's see, what is WoW Professions telling us we can get to here. Yeah, I think we can get to about 70 skill, which is pretty decent. I think we can probably push it to about 75 and unlock every single tree for leatherworking, which will also be nice. And one other thing we're going to grab just to make things a little bit quicker is the aerated file of the quick hands. And so this is actually a dragonflight file, but for whatever reason, it seems to work really well for what was I saying? It seems to work really well for it's. Despite being a dragonflight flask, it works for the War Within Professions as well, which is great. 30% extra crafting speed won't make you more gold, but definitely makes things a lot quicker. Which, as our goblin friends like to say, time is money, friends. So, if you can save a little bit of time, you can use that on other things to make even more gold. But okay, do we have all of our quests? Yeah, I see the leatherworking one here, and Enchanting we haven't unlocked the quest yet. But okay, let's go ahead and get started crafting. Let's check with where is it? Our leatherworker trainer right here. Have we unlocked anything else? No. So we're trying to get to 5 skill right now to unlock the next item that we can get. And like I said, we'll basically just be doing first crafts for everything. We don't care what quality these are getting crafted at, because we're going to be disenchanting them. And for disenchanting, all of the eye levels are exactly the same. Eye level makes no difference in terms of disenchanting. The only thing that makes a difference is your skill. And of course, being having all of your points embedded into disenchanting. And so for those of you guys who joined Friday's stream, just by flying around and picking up all of the different knowledge point treasures, as well as the rep knowledge point book and also the cash knowledge point book, we were able to get to about 49 knowledge points, right? Which is great. That's a great starting point. We will also be getting a lot of knowledge points from doing all of the first craft bonuses. What is this? Are we actually making this stupid of a profit on this? This is kind of wild. because, once we actually have points spent, or once we have enough skill, we'll be able to guarantee these at rank 5. And 576 gold profit is pretty lit for something that you don't need to spend any knowledge points on or anything. But anyway, let's filter here by first craft bonus, just pick up the pace a little bit. And again, I don't care about the quality that these are getting crafted at, simply because of the fact that we're gonna disenchant everything anyway. And so it's not gonna matter. Like I said, disenchanting items, the only thing that matters is your skill and having points spent into the disenchanting tree. Okay, we need Myco Bloom as well, which the guide didn't cover. But okay, we'll just go ahead and craft all of these. And usually what you want to try and do is you want to wait until you're right about at the breakpoint to use these ones that have 3 skill ups. What I mean is that you'll generally have recipes that either give you 1 skill up, right? Which you'll see because they just have this little arrow, or you'll have some that will give you 3. And you want to keep these 3s if possible until you're right at about 19 or 24, like basically a skill level ending in a 9 or a 4. The reason you want to do that is because there's a good chance that these recipes may give you fewer knowledge points once you hit 20 or 25 is generally the break points for each of those recipes. And so you can get a few more knowledge points if you do it right then. See, this is a great example. If I just done the dual layered armor kit, which only gave me 1 skill point, I would have basically lost out on 2 free skill points because of the fact that hitting 22 turned all these recipes from giving me 3 skill points each to only giving me 1 skill point. Master Louis, will there be an XP buff for anniversary? Yep. There's a 10% base level experience buff that you'll get. And then there's also a quest that you can do every single day that'll give you another 10% buff. So totally you'll get about 20% during the anniversary, which it makes sense because generally during the anniversary events, they give you whichever year anniversary it is, they give you that much percentage of experience buff, right? I think last year was 19%. This year's the 20th anniversary, so they're giving you 20%, but you will have to just do a very quick little daily quest to unlock the second 10%, which is fair enough, I think. Hot damn, and then the warband buff. Yep, the warband buff's another 25%. Dude, yeah, they're doing a lot. Blizzard has finally realized that especially for alts, it isn't super fun having to do the entire leveling process exactly the same. I mean, in the past, the thing is, heirlooms were kind of goated for a while, and then they nerfed the crap out of heirlooms, and so then heirlooms didn't actually make leveling. Well, I guess it made leveling up alts a bit easier when it comes to gear, and when it comes to, the rested experience buff is okay. It's better than nothing. But I think it still is trashier compared to when heirlooms gave you like just a straight up experience boost. That, and also the fact that they're just stupidly expensive. So much so that I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm sitting at 40 million gold. I'm still pretty cheap, but I still don't have, I barely have any of the heirlooms unlocked. I have a handful of heirlooms unlocked, but none of these are upgraded to max level because it's just not worth it. I don't think the benefit you get from heirlooms is worth how much they cost. Do I know how long the buff will last? Yeah, so it's basically the entirety of the event, but the event goes for pretty long. I don't remember the exact dates. Let me see if I can pull that up for you. But I think it goes until, it's from October 21st. I know it starts on the 21st and it ends, where can we see that? On Jan 6th. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I know it's on for a long time and ends sometime next year. But yeah, sorry. So it's from October 22nd to Jan 6th is basically how long the event's going to last, which is super long and plenty of time to level up any alts, or if you missed remix, you can level up alts for professions during that time. And yeah, I think it's great. I think they finally realized that gating, what do you call it? Gating the leveling process is just not a great move. Because more people are likely to level alts if it's super easy, right? And that overall probably increases sub length, like how long people stay subscribed to the game. Which, let's be honest, I mean, is a major factor in a lot of Blizzard's decisions, which isn't always for the best. But I mean, it's they are running a business, so I mean, they got to do what they got to do, right? Investors, investors aren't trying to subsidize our game playing experience as much as we would like them to. Damn, I'll use that to get all my alts to 80 and then some alts 70 for concentration, I guess. Yeah, that's a good call. That's a good call. I think I'm going to do the same as well, to be honest. Did I not buy? I thought I could have sworn we just bought the Myco Bloom that we needed. And then it's not in the mailbox. Oh, the mailbox didn't refresh. All right, that's what's going on. Maybe get a second account and do earthen leveling with a dual mount. Dude, I didn't even think about that. I was thinking about leveling up earthens based off of what you said, but actually, yeah, you're right. With the multi-person mount, I can do 2 characters at once. All right, so we'll do that on stream for sure, just to see exactly how quick it is. And the nice thing about the exploration is that you don't even need to dismount, because with mining and herbalism, it gets a little bit tricky to use the multi mount. For gathering, but for exploration XP, we can easily do that with a multi-person mount pretty easily. Hive mind if you have 3+ accounts. Oh, that's a good call. I didn't even think about that actually. But don't you have to? Because my hive mind is weird as all heck. Because you need to like redo the event with all the people, all the alts that you want to stick on the hive mind. No. What's it called? Can I filter through here? Family, no. Types. Sources, specific, there we go. Passenger. Oh, it's literally called the hive mind. I don't know why search didn't pop it up. Dude, this add-on's weird as heck. It's great, it has a lot of cool features, but it's definitely a bit jank, not gonna lie. You can make a video out of that and earn all the cash. I mean, all I would need to do is basically pay for the 3 other subs and hope that my hope that my PC doesn't die. Admittedly, I tried that during Remix with like my 2 main accounts and then like a starter account. But I think the mistake I was making is I was running all of the clients at max settings, and so my graphic card just died. But that was also back when I was like doing stupid things like recording in 4K while streaming to like 2 different platforms and stuff like I do. What's up, Cylindrus? Welcome to the stream. How's it going? How's your day going? How's your Friday going? But yeah, no, what I was saying was my hive mind is weird in that it doesn't allow my characters from on both of my accounts to ride the same mount, which is kind of weird. Because it says that, oh, you need to have like done the thingamabobber with them. Like you need to have done the way you unlock the mount is what you need to do. See? Only other members of their hive mind may join with them. Wait, can you guys? No, sorry, you guys can't even see that. Can you? Okay, OBS. Well, not even OBS. It's more so. Stream Deck that's just being weird. I thought we fixed it. Dude, I thought we fixed it. Oh, good lord. Sorry, give me 1 sec. I swear I fixed it off stream. If I undo. Sorry, folks. Give me 1 second. I basically just need to undo everything Are we... Gosh dang it. Okay, sorry. Technical issues as always. Is it really the Adrel show if we're not dealing with a bunch of different technical issues? I would argue not. I would argue not. The heck? Oh, we have like an hour and a half left that I can stream for, so I don't want to take another break if I can at all avoid it. Why is Stream Deck being so weird? All right, let me catch up on chat real quick. Post it like one of those clickbait videos. May have to do that, Loki. It's pretty chill. It's going good. It's going good. We're streaming earlier than we usually do, just because I have to get somewhere for real life commitment. Usually we stream later on Friday. Well, on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But beyond that, we're setting up another Leatherworker and setting up new profession characters is always fun. Leveling 5 characters to 70 in 3 hours. Insane XP per hour. Click here now. Gone Wild, cops involved, and whatever they use nowadays to get your attention. It's just you flying around the hive mind for 3 hours. Dude, that would be kind of hilarious. Just put all of the clickbait into the title. Last video ever. I quit WoW because of this. Need a soy boy face. The more scuffed the stream, the better. Well, guess what, Selendris? You're really gonna love my streams. As much time as I spend off stream, like messing with the technical stuff, things seem to always go a little haywire. You know, people who make those videos might as well be the first to cash in a bit. Someone already made a video saying like I found the most insane way of leveling in WoW, and I think they got like 200,000 views on it. Which I'm not gonna lie was one of the reasons why I was like, oh, maybe I should also do one of those stream videos, like do one of those videos. But I'll do it on I'll do it during the anniversary event. Cause then I'll have a more clickbaity. The problem is. And Master Louis, I feel like you've watched my stream for long enough to know that like anytime I attempt any sort of speed run or to do anything quickly, things A, go horribly wrong, and then B, I end up taking way more time to do it just because I get super distracted. I mean, think about what's happening right now. We're supposed to be leveling Leatherworking, and instead I'm trying to show you guys that I can't mount the hive mind on my alt characters. But yeah, so this is what happens if I try and mount join the hive mind on my other character. It says only other members of their hive mind may join with them, and it's like, what do you mean, Blizzard? What does that mean? I like literally me, right? Was the one who got this mount. They both got the mount in the exact same damn way. So how could they not be a part of the hive mind thing? Only other members of their hive mind may join with them. It's like they're literally the same player. They did the puzzle together? Well, no, because I did it on my main character. And so, I mean, shouldn't it also copy the thing from all the others? Like to all of the other alts? Or am I supposed to have two, characters from two accounts and then it'll work? Or my guess is that it's probably just that if, you need to literally do it on those characters, which means it won't work for the Earthen anyway, because I'm not going to be able to do it at level 1, right? Making an apology video too. Okay, mister, I'm going to go touch grass. Making an apology video with a ukulele. Just get all of the views. Every single view on YouTube is what we're shooting for. That's why I'm here, for the distraction and banter. Hey, listen, as long as we're having fun, that's what I care about more than being like a speed runner. The player can then carry only the player's group with you when you last completed the hive mind ritual. Yeah, I don't know, man. So that's what's weird. So do I need to take? Or okay, 1 second. It says literally the player can carry only the player's group with you. So again, does it mean player or character? The way it's phrased, I feel like it probably means the specific character, which kind of sucks. But yeah, basically means that dual mounted flying is the move. Although I think in the next patch, Drakthir are getting the ability to fly in trios, right? They can fly in like formation, like they can fly in a formation of 3, and so then you'll have technically a 3-person, like you'll be able to do 3-person mounted stuff, like dragon riding stuff, which will be pretty cool. But I don't think you can be an earthen evoker, so it kind of doesn't work. Exactly, misses the exploration racial bonus experience. Make the videos clickbait anyway with the hive mind, and then another follow-up video explaining it doesn't work, but dual flying does. And then a third video apologizing for the misinformation. Triple tap that audience. Hey, listen, the funny part is that isn't the worst idea. Because there's a honestly, the way content works these days, there's a non-zero chance that low-key works. And it does. I try to minimize how much clickbait I put in, but at the same point, like I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I don't want more views on my stuff, right? And so like it works, and so you end up kind of having to do it if you really want to grow. I try to minimize how much I do it and try to not be as dishonest about it, but like it just does work a lot more. And the rage will make it look like you got engagement on your video, so it moves up the algorithm. Yeah, I mean, that's why I find it hilarious when people leave like negative comments on my videos and stuff like that. I mean, it doesn't happen often, but it like stands out to me a lot more. And I find it hilarious that they've like taken time out of their day to like write a thing saying like, the stream sucks. Why was this on my homepage? Like YouTube needs to fix their algorithm. And I was like, I mean, I'm sorry you didn't like my stream, but guess what? The algo now thinks that you do. So it's going to show you more of my content, which... Okay, I'll take it. I'll take the engagement. Rage bait, misinfo, triple tap, all in one go. We min maxing here. We're trying to Asmongold max in our content strategy. But okay, let's actually get back to leatherworking, please, guys. Okay, so like I was saying, we're basically just going to keep crafting everything for the first craft bonus. Well, so we're at 24 skill, so again, we're going to want to use one of these 3 skill items and then come back and do the gardener's basket, because that'll always give us 1 skill, whereas these may no longer give us 3 skill after we craft them for the first time. Boom. Boom. And actually, at this stage, let's take a look here. Because what we may want to do is just max out the resourcefulness tree, because we're going to want that anyway. How many? We have 60 knowledge points. We need 30 and 60. We need 60 knowledge points for this. And so we need a total of 95 knowledge points. Let's do some quick math. We have 60 knowledge points now. All right. We have this one that gives us the first craft bonus. So that's 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82. Plus, we have another 3 from the weekly sources. So that's 85 knowledge points. And then let's take a look at our patron orders. Let's see how we're doing here. We said we have 85. And I think we said we needed a total of 95, right? So, 2 knowledge points here. So 85, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91. Am I missing anything? Am I being dumb? Is there any other source of knowledge points? I mean, I know we could buy a knowledge point book, but I idly don't want to spend any artisan's acuity on those. And my thinking is what I want to do is basically I need to max out these 2 trees. That's what I care most about, right? Is having the most possible skill into our into our into being able to craft the profession equipment, right? The point is that I also want resourcefulness, and my thinking is that the sooner we unlock the resourcefulness, we'll start getting some of our materials back while we're leveling up, right? Which will sort of allow us to double dip a little bit. But we know we can get to about 91 knowledge points. I feel like I'm still missing something. The math checks out. Short of doing like a PvP recipe or something weird and jank like that, I don't know that we should necessarily bother. And actually, that's a good point. Maybe we should probably just complete the patron orders that we already can. Because they'll give us skill up now. They're less likely to give us skill later on. We should have actually been doing these as we went. Oh, right. You had a plan when starting the stream. Here I go distracting again. Yep. To be fair, we were supposed to do this on Wednesday's stream. And then I got so distracted along the way that it just got too late and we ran out of time. So, yeah, for today's stream, we are going to try and actually... never mind. I got excited because I thought I hadn't counted the quest. But no, we okay, we're going to be tight. I think what we can do is probably not go all the way with resourcefulness. We'll come to like this node. All right, and that's still better than nothing. I think we need 5 points in here to unlock a second tree, and then we want resourcefulness, and we're just going to go ahead and basically spend until here. I mean, realistically, we could max it out and then just deal with it, but I think I'm going to want as much skill as possible. But okay, so to start off the build, we're just going to go into resourcefulness, and this you actually want to do right at skill level 25. I pushed through to 27. Well, actually, no, I hit 27 because I did the thing. But basically, the second you hit level 25, you would ideally want to invest into resourcefulness if you're planning on doing it, because that way you'll save some materials while leveling up the profession, which is always good. I mean, realistically, I think there is a world in which it does make sense for me to just max out resourcefulness first and then worry about everything else. But I think I'm going to focus on the profession equipment. Fine, we'll lose a little bit more gold than we planned, but overall, I think it'll still be a net W for us there. And hey, depending on what your crafting orders look like, right? Because it's RNG driven. You may actually have even more knowledge points available to you, so you may be able to max out everything. Or if you do this over a couple of days, you'll have enough knowledge points to do this all right from the jump. But okay, we completed all of our crafting orders. Let's go ahead and turn in the quest and open up the items we received, and let's go ahead and learn our knowledge points here. Boom. Let's open up these satchels as well, because they do give you a decent amount of mats if you're lucky. I mean, mostly it's like rank 1 herbs and ore and stuff like that, but you sometimes get something better. I guess we did kind of screw up my little calculations as to how many first craft points you'll get, but hey, it doesn't matter all that much. Like I said, knowledge points aren't particularly hard to come by anymore. Just because of the fact that since you can slap enchanting on anyone and get a boatload of artisan's acuity, you can pretty easily get all of the knowledge point books if you so choose. I mean, I'm still of the opinion that I feel like the tools are more useful, but depending on the build you're going for, you may value knowledge points more, in which case go for that. All right, and predictably, the WoW Professions Guide didn't expect us to craft all of these, and so didn't include mats for them. But what we will do is we're gonna quickly do the first craft bonus, the first craft items that we already have the items for, right? 36 high shape recover. How are we already out of storm charged leather? We bought so dang much of it. Oh well. Let's see what our crafting results. We've already lost about 3,000 gold so far. Let's craft each of these. These all turned yellow, which is not great, but it is what it is. Oh, and they're green now. That's not good. That's not what you want to see. Okay, we unlocked a couple more. We unlocked a couple more recipes. Do we have mats? Whatever we have mats for, we're gonna go ahead and craft, and then everything else we'll have to hit the auction house again to buy mats for. And this is another handy feature in Craft Sim, right? Is it allows you to hit this queue first crafts button, and then you can go ahead and queue up all of the items. Now, you got to keep in mind that there's no shot that we're selling the rank 2 version of these engineering gloves for 20,000 or for 17,000 gold, right? No shot. It's just Auctionator being weird. Same thing with the hide shaper cover. So we're actually not going to be making all this. We're not going to make 16,100 gold while leveling up the profession. But I think we can, at the very least, break even or only invest a couple thousand gold by the end of this, because we will disenchant everything that we just crafted. And so hopefully, I mean, it's not like the margins are going to be amazing, but we should hopefully be able to do a little bit of recovery. Jeez, look at how many random mats we need to buy. Dude, this is like engineering and alchemy levels. One of my characters has engineering and alchemy, and it is the absolute worst having a shop for mats, because there's like 40 different mats that he needs to craft dang near anything. And so it really does annoy me. Did we buy Gloom Chitin? I thought we did. Apparently we didn't. All right, I'm going to hit the camera real sec, but don't worry, I'm still here. I'm still here, right? We're going to be okay. Everyone's going to be okay. We'll be fine. I'm still here. I just got to hit the camera. Leyline residue, viridescent spores. My true form. Yep. Goblin maxing. And I'm just going to stock up on crystalline powder, because this guy is going to get enchanting at some point, and so having a lot of crystalline powder on hand is always handy for shattering. Do I need to buy a carapace back to hide? Probably not, right? Because I'm going to be crafting one. Honed bone shards. We'll need one of those. And I wonder if any of the mats that I already bought we didn't need to buy, because we're going to be crafting for the first craft bonus anyway. There's a very good chance of that. It's like the scene with Mystique. Wait, which scene with Mystique? And sorry, who's Mystique? I'm sorry, I didn't get the reference at all. My bad. Oh, from X-Men. Ah, okay, yeah, right. The transformation. I suppose I could probably put together a cool little looking animation for this. I mean, in my mind, I just fit. Oh, we need the spell. Well, not the spell thread. We need just the basic threads. I was like, why do we need so many carapace backed hides? Is it moss? I think moss wool thread was what we needed. Let's just buy 100. I don't want to think about this. But hey, I figured if Iron Mouse can become the biggest streamer on Twitch, as a VTuber, I can probably get away with using I may get more viewers for using my little goblin character. Why does it think I don't have the correct tools equipped? Dude, Craft Sim's kind of weird sometimes. Don't get me wrong, it's still the best add-on for gold making by far. But it janks out sometimes with the profession equipment. I'm not entirely certain as to why. Do all of these need carapace backed hides? Is that what's going on? So then I need 3 more of them. Ooh. But okay, so we're just gonna use the craft sim interface here to do all these first craft bonuses. So another thing, Master Louis, coming back to your leveling thing, another idea for a stream I had was seeing if I could level a character from 70 to 80 just using first craft bonus experience. And my thinking was that I would basically do the profession shuffle, but not for the artisan's acuity, literally just for the experience. And I was wondering if I could just do that for every single profession. Like cycle through all the professions, do all the first crafts, and get the experience from that. Because most of my alts in leveling up professions are already at like 73 to 75 just from the first craft bonus experience, which is kind of crazy. I don't know why we're doing an auction house scan, because we're not trying to craft anything at a profit right now. But I may as well just let it run. And by the way, if you're enjoying the stream, please consider dropping a follow, a sub, right? If you're watching on Twitch, please consider using your Twitch Prime sub. It really does help me out. It costs nothing if you're an Amazon Prime member already, but it really does help me out because I'm trying to replace my headset. I don't have my let me slap my camera on so I can show you guys what I mean. Yeah, I'm trying to replace my janky broken headset because it basically is just like hanging on my shoulder and keeps like hitting me in the shoulder, and it gets kind of scary at night because I keep thinking that someone's tapping on my shoulder super late at night when I know my wife has already gone to bed. So if you want to help your boy out, please consider subbing on Twitch. Again, you could just use your Prime sub, and if you're watching on YouTube, please consider subscribing on YouTube as well. It does really help me out as well. If you're watching on Twitch, follows help as well. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, right? We know the things. We all know all of the things that all of the people have drilled into our heads of what to do to help your boy out. Probably don't need to recap for everyone. But the dingle dangle is endearing. All right, well, if we get enough support, we'll run a poll and we'll decide if I use the new headset on stream or just off stream when I'm editing and things. Is that a workable solution? I feel like everyone should be happy then. All right, and we're almost done with with pushing leatherworking to well, we're at 50 skills, so we can go ahead and unlock our second specialization here. And we're going into Flawless Fortes because I don't know if we covered, I don't know if I mentioned this actually, but basically the build that we're going with for this guy is a profession equipment build. Leatherworking is one of the few professions that I don't already have someone who's spec'd into profession equipment for. And the reason I want to do this is twofold. One, there's, as with every profession, I've said this a million times and I will keep saying it so long as it remains true, but there's a lot of gold to be made in the green profession equipment, leatherworking especially for some reason. I'm not sure why, because actually the recipe difficulty is pretty low, but you'll see all of this green profession equipment that you just learn off the trainer, right, has some pretty sick margins in it. We're not even maxed out on our skill. We haven't put a single point into leatherworking or into profession equipment yet. And already you can see that the profits are pretty sick. And once we max this out, I mean, each of these pieces, 70% profit margin, 852 gold each, right? A region average daily sold of about 3.3 is what it's saying. But you got to keep in mind that you can sell these on multiple servers using allied races that I showed you guys earlier in the stream. And I'll also be putting out a video on how to set those up shortly. So I would recommend anyone and everyone has these builds set up for two reasons. One, because you can then sell this profession equipment super profitably on other realms, right? And that, I mean, that's reason enough to set one of these guys up, right? The second reason is you can also use them to craft profession equipment for your own alts, which is also going to save you a good amount of gold, especially if you're planning on setting up an alt army. And, even if not, even if you're just planning on doing a couple of characters, you can probably pay it off by just, crafting your own profession equipment. Honestly, that's how fat the margins are on the profession equipment, and that way you pass that margin on to yourself as opposed to giving it to someone else. The third reason that I also forgot to mention is that you can also make a bit of extra gold by selling crafting orders for the profession equipment, particularly the blue profession equipment. And this as well is also, it's super handy to be able to craft blue profession equipment for your own characters, not only because of the fact that you don't need to pay the commission, but also because of the fact that you get the resourcefulness procs, right? So if you're using high quality materials and you proc resourcefulness, if you're doing it through a crafting order, you're not getting that. The crafter keeps that. Whereas if you're doing it on one of your own alts, you'll keep the items that you proc from the resourcefulness. But also, you can use up concentration without having to pay for it. So you can use cheaper materials, or at least rank 2 materials, let's say, right? And then use up your concentration, and you don't have to pay anyone for that, which is also kind of nice and will save you a bunch of gold. In terms of the crafting orders, I've noticed that not a lot of people tend to go with the profession equipment builds. And so as a result, there's generally quite a shortage, by and large, of profession equipment crafters. I've noticed this whenever I've tried to get my own professional equipment crafted when I don't have someone who can craft it. And as a result, it's A, generally pretty hard to find someone, but then B, they also tend to charge a good bit extra because of the fact that they know that there's not that many people out there. And for the bulk of people, they're not going to think it's worth it to set up an alt specifically to craft profession equipment, right? Which is exactly why it's profitable, because a lot of people are lazy or, just don't want to spend the gold or are a bit confused about how to go about doing it or whatever else it is, right? Also, these recipes will cost you artisan security, which a lot of people aren't willing to spend their artisan security on learning these recipes. If you do it on an alt, you can easily save, use up the artisan security for that without really regretting it. And that's what this guy's going to do. We did the math the other day, but for leatherworking alone, to learn all of these profession equipment recipes, it'll cost you 1,500 artisan security, which is a lot. If you don't want to, if you don't care about having every recipe learned, then you don't need to bother doing that. You can just learn the ones that, are either A, that you need for your alts, or B, that you think are going to make you the most gold. And there's this great add-on called Craft Scan, which is this add-on over here on the left. Mobile viewers, apologies that you can't see it. All the more reason to check out the horizontal stream. But yeah, we've covered it quite extensively on stream. I'm also working on editing down one of those streams into a little video that I can link you guys to. But yeah, that'll help you find customers, and especially as we go later on in the expansion, there's going to be fewer and fewer people playing, certainly fewer crafters, one would imagine. And so you probably have a better chance of being able to snag some of those crafting orders. Beyond that, is there anything else I like about this build? I mean, yeah, I think that's primarily it. Beyond that, you will have a good amount of resourcefulness. You'll have a decent bit of little skill in it as well. And the leatherworking crafted gear actually doesn't have that much recipe difficulty. It's only about 150. So maxing out, your leatherworking skill and then having resourcefulness alone should bring you to the point that most of these items are profitable. Let's see here. If we max out our resourcefulness here, we add another, 47 skill, right? You can see on this blue crafted gear, you're making 72% profit margin, 313 gold per craft, and the sale rate on these is significantly higher than even the profession equipment, right, at about 7.6. And again, this works really well to sell across realm. And the other thing is I know a lot of people are skeptical about who's gonna buy, who's gonna pay gold to buy an eye level 558 piece of gear that requires level 80, right? It's so easy to get gear in this expansion. As a fresh level 80, you can just run some heroics and get a higher eye level and things like that. To the people who are saying that, I'll simply say this: is you guys are underestimating how lazy the majority of this player base is. Not just how lazy, but also how inefficient it is to run a lot of that content at a lower eye level, right? If you can hit the auction house and pick up a full set of eye level 558 gear, that should hopefully be enough to get you to the point that you can queue up for heroics, you can queue up for LFR, you can queue up for all of the other things that you need an eye level 567 for, right? You may have gotten lucky and picked up a couple of pieces later in your leveling journey, but in a lot of cases I've seen that my some of my characters hit level 80 and they're still at like eye level 490, you know, maybe 528 or something like that, right? And so a couple pieces of this 558 gear will help them cross that barrier. And if nothing else, even if they just want to run delves, right, 750 gold for a head piece that they can pick the stats on is honestly not that expensive at all. And even if they just use it for their first delve, it's probably still worth it to them, just because it'll make sure that they can run, you know, maybe a higher key delve for their, like a higher difficulty delve for their first, for some round. And so these do also sell really well, and you will be able to craft those pretty well with this build as well. But okay, I think that's all the reasons that we're doing this build. We have 16 knowledge points, so what we're going to do now is we're going to max out Flawless Fortes, right? And a nice side advantage of that is that we'll also unlock another 4 or 5 recipes through these other trees, which in and of themselves give us some knowledge points back. But then also, actually, hold up, I think just with these, we should have on paper enough knowledge points to be able to max out this tree and resourcefulness as well. But anyway, let's finish this off. So we're maxing out Flawless Fortes. This will give us base skill as well as I think some resourcefulness and some ingenuity, which is also nice to have. And then we're going into epic ensembles, and we'll learn in this tree, and we'll max this out as well, and we'll dump all 30 points in here as well. And what this will allow us to do is basically craft the profession equipment at rank 5 using all 3 rank 3 materials, and we may have to use one of the items, like one of the finishing agents that gives us a little bit more skill. The other thing we can do is, since we've maxed out this tree, we can also learn these sub-specializations, right? Which this one will teach us two recipes that will require spark, so they will be crafting order recipes, but if you have craft scan, it'll let us know if anyone's interested in them. Anyway, learning Nerubian Noose, unlocking this tree will give us Writhing Armor Banding. And we'll take a look in a second, but Writhing Armor Banding is one of the BIS embellishments for a large number of specs in the game, at least in Season 1. And similarly, learning the sub-specialization around the armor will unlock the Blessed Weapon Grip for us, which is also, I believe, BIS for a handful of specs. But okay, so that's our basic build. Any other points we get now will go into resourcefulness, after which, unless you want to try and do something else on this character, you know, in addition to what they're designed for, I would recommend putting them into Learned Leatherworker, the base tree here. And the reason is, I mean, the ingenuity is nice to have, right? But we're not going to be doing a whole bunch of concentration crafts. Leatherworking, other than for profession equipment and for spark gear, doesn't really have too many uses for concentration. The main reason we're doing this is just because of the fact that this last node here will give us another 45 resourcefulness, which is nice to have. Yeah, this build isn't really going to benefit much at all from multi-craft, so we're not going to look at the multi-craft tree as such. Probably after we max out this tree and get the bonus resourcefulness from here, I would say go into ingenuity, right? Even if it's not the best stat, it's still nice to have and will allow you to do more crafting orders that use concentration. I mean, you could still sell your concentration for a good bit, right? And I think that'll remain true through the rest of the expansion. Yeah. I'm trying to think if I could seriously recommend any of these other trees within this build, and honestly, not really, because any of the beastly bulwarks, Nerubian Noose, or Arathi armor with this build would really only work for crafting the gear that comes from that, and for that you would need to go into the luxurious leathers or concrete chitin trees, which I can't in good conscience recommend. I would say, you know, max out this tree. If you happen to gather any other knowledge points, stick them in Learned Leatherworker, right? And you get another 45 resourcefulness. It's not going to be worth a whole bunch, but I wouldn't bother doing a lot of crafting orders and things. I would do them maybe for the Artisan's Acuity, but not specifically for the knowledge points. This isn't a case where you're going to benefit a whole bunch from really min-maxing your your knowledge points beyond this stage. But okay, let's queue up our first crafts. 800 gold to craft one of these, and that's just because of Profane Tinderbox. Dude, Profane Tinderbox prices did go up a decent bit. I mean, they're no longer down at like 200-300 gold. They're at 800 gold, which is, I think, a fair price for them. I don't think they're as hard to acquire anymore. Well, not I don't think they literally are less hard to acquire. But funnily enough, if you had bought at like 300 gold, you could have doubled your gold pretty easily on profane tinderboxes, which I don't think too many people saw coming. Although maybe, anytime I say something like that, I'm always like, well, there was probably one dude out there who called it. You know what I mean? Honestly, I'm not even sure if this first craft bonus, our what do you call it? The writhing armor banding is worth it. Because honestly, like I said, we've already got all of the important knowledge points spent. The only remaining ones are going to be the points we put into resourcefulness. And most of the items we're going to be crafting aren't really using anything super expensive. I think there's one of these profession equipments. Is it? Which one was it? I thought one of these required like a profane tinderbox like that. And so that would benefit quite a bit from resourcefulness. But in the bulk of these cases, you'll see most of these items, this is going to be the bread and butter of what we're going to be crafting. Let's go ahead and favorite them actually, just so I remember that this guy's my profession equipment crafter. The bulk of these items, the resourcefulness per point isn't worth a stupid amount. It's like 5 silver, right, per point of resourcefulness. So again, it's going to take a while to pay off, 500 gold for a knowledge point. And that's sort of the name of the game is unfortunately at this stage of the expansion, you do need to be thinking about everything in terms of min-maxing things and stuff. Well, tinderboxes are cheaper now. Cylindrius, yeah. I mean, they're still cheaper, a lot cheaper than they were for sure. What's up, that guy KB32 on YouTube? How's it going? Yeah, I had 8 alts with over 300 of each of the turn-in currency for tinderboxes. Early on, there were still a few K. Now I'm waiting for people to run low on the turn-ins to bring it back. Good stuff. So that was like 100 tinderboxes that you got right off the jump. Yeah, I mean, so the hotfix went live at like 4 a.m. my time. I was literally like wrapping up for bed, which was admittedly too late, right? Don't give me too much crap for going to bed at 4 a.m. But yeah, when I saw the hotfix drop, and I was like, ooh, I should probably make a video about this real quick. And so I did that, ended up sleeping at like 6 a.m. But before that, I did also hop onto one of my characters and like list whatever profane tinderboxes he had on him, with the hope that I would be able to like still sell them for like a couple grand before it dropped. And yeah, the prices were just falling too quickly. It was like 400 tinders per tune. Dude, that's wild. The hotfix where you can purchase them now. Yeah. So if you head over to the blacksmithing supplies vendor, there's one right next to the blacksmithing trainer right here inside the like forge area, right? You can trade in 3 of the rare delve items for a profane tinderbox, which caused the price on the profane tinderboxes to fall through the floor, but then also the price for the 4 other mats that you could turn in to skyrocket. Which I was kind of kicking myself because for a couple of weeks I was like, oh, I should probably just keep a couple hundred of those items, mainly as a quality of life thing, because I got sick of having to buy them off the auction house every time I needed them. And I didn't, and turns out that would have been a good call. Are viridistant spores one of those items? Because honestly, I think you can probably still make a decent bit of gold by buying the required materials and converting them into profane tinderboxes. I haven't done much of that other than on day 1. But I think, honestly, if you need profane tinderboxes, you're probably still better off buying these items and converting them in. Because the vial of Kaheti oils are going for 258 gold each. I mean, near enough. Right? And so, wait, where's there was an item that required the profane tinderbox. I just want to see what profane tinderboxes are going for right now. We didn't craft it because it required a profane tinderbox. What the hell was it? Oh, Blessed Weapon Grip. Yeah, this was the one. And these are going for about 779. So, I mean, it's like 50, 100 gold, right? Yeah, you can make about 50 gold by just buying these off the auction house and selling them as profane tinderboxes, which probably doesn't pay for your auction house cut. So, I mean, yeah, you'd need to get a better price on it. But, hey, it is what it is. But that guy KB32, 400 tinders per tune is wild. Good stuff. Good stuff. That must have earned you a good amount of gold. I never knew what to use them for, and I'm a hoarder sometimes. Hoarding pays off because I just never trash the turn-in mats. Yeah, good call. It definitely pays off, man. I mean, I'm the other extreme where I literally have like items that have been removed from the game that have no purpose, right? Like for some reason, one of my alts has a like, you know, the items that you can like if you right click on it, it gives you 15 crests. Well, for whatever reason, Blizzard kept those in the game and turned them gray. You can't vendor them. But I can't get myself to delete it either, so it's just lying in one of my alt's banks. And that's just one of the many things that I've hoarded over the years. That's what 20 years of playing a game will do to you. I never knew what to use them for, though. Is interesting. Yeah, so I mean, prior to the changes, well, I mean, in all, I have spent 3.3 million gold, and probably a little bit higher. You can see purchased there, TSM accounting purchased. I've spent 3.3 million gold on tinderboxes. Now, the bulk of those were prior to the, I mean, you can see my average price there is 6,000 gold, and that's because it was prior to the change. But yeah, basically I used, the main thing I would use them for is enchants, right? The boot enchants require them. I think there's another enchant, I think, the boot and the ring enchants require them. And then also this armor kit right here, I used up a lot of them for these armor kits. Yeah, sold about almost 1 million gold worth of these armor kits. So yeah, a good amount went into these as well. And then I think I also did some writhing armor, some blessed weapon grips rather, because this is also BIS for a handful of, oh yeah, about 500,000 gold worth of these I sold. So yeah, that's what the profane tinderboxes were getting used for. People like me were just buying hundreds of them at a time. Yeah, about a total of 536. But again, I'm sure the actual number is a lot higher than this, because Trade Skill Master doesn't do a great job of catching all of them. Oh, none of those tunes were Chancers or Leatherworkers. Yeah, so that makes sense. Who else uses profane tinderboxes? I feel like there is another profession that uses them as well. I can't remember for the life of me who they are. Are they using any of the Spark gear? They may be using some of the Spark gear as well. I can see that being a thing. Yeah, I guess some of the Spark gear, profane tinderboxes. Although they're, I mean, your customer would be providing it, so it's not like you, as a gold maker, you'd be buying a whole bunch for that. Blacksmithing, right? That's the one. Blacksmithing, I guess, uses it for alloys or whatever, right? But okay, let's finish off our first craft bonuses here. And actually, sneaky little tip. What you want to do is between each craft, if you want to really min-max things, spend the knowledge point, because that'll give you 3 more resourcefulness for each of your subsequent crafts. You can save like 3 coppers by doing that. And with that, I think we're kind of done with the build. Aren't we? 24. We need to get to 25 to unlock the 30 bonus resourcefulness there. Blacksmiths, that's what my 4 alts are, so I know that one. Ah, okay, good stuff. What, did you go alloy builds? Because I know people made a boatload with alloys. Yeah, I didn't hop on that early enough, because early on, actually early in the expansion, I thought that there may be a good amount of gold in alloys. But every time I tried to work out the builds, I couldn't figure out how to get it to work. And honestly, I was just making so much gold with other things that I didn't really bother with it. And now I feel like it's been covered by YouTubers so much that I would be surprised if there's much profits left in it. But I'm always surprised, because the Disenchant Shuffle does still have a good amount of gold left in it, which I thought was interesting, because I didn't expect that to be the case, given how many YouTubers covered that for content. 2 alloy builds and 1 prof gear, 1 axis. Yeah, the prof gear build is money, dude. Blacksmithing profession tool. I mean, I say this about every profession. You should have at least 1 character that's spec'd into profession equipment. Not only for your own alts and stuff like that, but also because the profession gear just makes so much gold. It will always be a great way to make gold. Yeah. It's not as lucrative now unless you multi-craft proc for alloy. Yeah, I mean, I think with any of those consumables, anything that has multi-craft as an option. I mean, I think with most crafts these days, if you're not crafting like at the bare minimum, I would say 20, but realistically 50 or 100 of any given item. The RNG is going to be so all over the place, right? You may not break even. You may struggle to even break even. If you're doing 20, 50, 100 crafts, then you'll average out and you'll actually make a profit because you'll get enough multi-craft procs and things like that. Crafting less than that, you could get really lucky and proc multi-craft on every single craft, or like at least enough that it's profitable. But increasingly, you could also just not have a single multi-craft proc in those 3 or 4 crafts, and all of a sudden you're not making any gold at all, unless you're using concentration. Then you can probably force a bit of profit in there. Sanctified was like 9k for one. It's sub 4k now. Well, so I'm guessing what happened there is probably A, the profane tinderbox prices dropped, and then B, the other thing that probably happened is also people already used up their sparks, and so they probably didn't need as many sanctified alloys to craft gear for their characters, right? At least for their mains. And if sanctified alloys are as expensive as they are, then there's not going to be a lot of people who are willing to spend that much for their ults, and so demand will naturally fall a bit. Okay, so we've basically gone as far as we planned to with leatherworking. Let's take a look at what the profit margins are. Actually, let's take a quick little break. We have about an hour left of stream. When we come back, we'll do some leatherworking crafting. We'll set up trade skill master profession groups, and then we may get into enchanting a little bit. Okay, 2000 song. Hey, I thought it was a good. I thought my playlist was semi decent, but I'm always open to suggestions. Heck, if you're watching on Twitch, you can actually redeem channel points to request a song. But yeah, I should probably plug that as well. Check out the channel point rewards, guys. We added a few a little while ago. But yeah. So that guy was Tinderbox and Nullstone, so nulls are still pricey, and so you break even now for the most part. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, that is, like I'm saying, that is the main thing. Is anything that has multicraft, you need to be I feel like at this point, to make good profits, you need to have the multicraft tree maxed out, and you probably need to use a multicraft tool, and you may also need to use mirror powder, the finishing reagent that gives you bonus multicraft. You may also need to do that to break profitability. Oh, thank you, that guy. I'll have to follow you on Twitch when I get home. Please do, please do. Really does help me out. Makes me feel better about myself. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Bigger number equals better person. I mean, I completely stole that from the streamer Ludwig. But it makes me chuckle. All right, quick little break, and then we'll come back and continue on with this leatherworker. We'll see how far we can push in terms of skill, and then get crafting and see how much gold we can get with that. All right, and then we'll also spend a little bit of time on enchanting. And basically getting all the catch-up knowledge points, and also figuring out a build that we like for it. All right, so see you guys in a few. Oh, and if you haven't already, please do drop a follow on Twitch, or subscribe on YouTube, or heck, subscribe on Twitch. It really helps your boy out. All right, see you guys in a few. All right, we are back. What is up, gang? How's everybody doing? Apologies, the timer wasn't working. I don't know why, but that timer never seems to want to work for me. Even when I try and manually refresh it, it sometimes glitches out like that. So I'm sorry about that. But we're back now, so we don't need to worry about the timer. How's everyone doing? How's everyone's Friday going? We just got done leveling up our Leatherworker. We still have a couple more skill points that we can get. Let's see what actually has skill ups and if anything's cheap enough for us to craft in bulk. 654, not worth it. And these two are spark items. Are there any other items that we would craft that would be worth using for... Oh, I guess we can do these. 547, 547, 547. Anything cheap. 517, 517. Thunderous drums. Nah, so not really. These will give us skill ups, but they're not... I mean, they're still pretty expensive to craft. Let's see what the actual stats look like on our profession crafted gear here. How are we doing? We've maxed out the skill trees. I mean, admittedly, this is the worst one of the items to look at. But basically, we can now craft these at rank 5 using rank 3 materials. And if the person tips at least 500 gold, or we think we're going to make 500 gold back from resourcefulness. But we'd want to craft these in any case because of the fact that they'll also give us skill points. And 2 skill points at that, plus the first craft bonuses. All right, now we're sitting at about 435 artisans acuity. Let's go. Did we not turn in the leatherworking quest? I thought we did. Oh, sorry, that's the Algari treatise. All right, so we got to grab the treatise, which will give us another 5 artisans acuity. And we did all of the crafting orders for leatherworking here, didn't we? Crafting orders. We did all the patron orders that we could. The rest of these are recipes that we don't have, and I don't think they're quite worth investing in because, like we said, knowledge points aren't really worth that much to us. The artisan's acuity worth a little bit, but we'll see. Treatise. Watching any good shows or anything? Honestly, not really. I've cut back on watching Netflix a whole bunch, like Netflix, all the streaming services primarily. Yeah, these days I mainly watch YouTube. Yeah, YouTube and Twitch are mostly what I'm spending my like free time watching, and I'll do a couple podcasts here and there as well, like cherry blossom tea and maple tea. Are we just listing teas now? All right, so I think the next move is for us to start leveling up Enchanting. And we're going to primarily be doing that with Disenchanting, at least for the first 25 skill, because of the fact that, yeah, you can level up Enchanting with Disenchanting. And that will also help us get our, the weekly knowledge points from here, which will also then help us get closer to unlocking the Shimmering Dust. Now, I think we looted the world treasure, so we don't need to do that part. And basically all we need to do is then disenchant until we get to 25 skill, turn in the quest, and then we will be getting the catch-up disenchanting materials. Now, the thing is, we do need our enchanting profession accessories. And the reason for that is because in the materials that you get from disenchanting are basically tied to how much skill you have. Both base enchanting skill, but then also the skill that comes from your profession accessories, all right? And so let's check our guild bank and see if we have any of the enchanting profession equipment already crafted. Okay, we have the enchanter's hat. Let's grab that. I don't think we have any of the rods. We may need to quickly hop onto the other characters and get those crafted, because I think it's been a while since I crafted them anyway. So we need the enchanter's crystal, which we're hopping onto my jewel crafter right now to craft a couple of those. Probably craft like 20 of them. We'll use up some of them and then wing the rest of them onto the auction house. I'm just trying to see if we have any other items in our guild bank that are like less than rank 5 that we can disenchant. We can disenchant this. These are all rank 5, so those are for selling. While we're waiting for the other dude to log in is basically what's going on there. I wonder if... Oh, that's rank 2. Let's disenchant that. Let's do rank 5. Let's see if this search works. Less than rank 5. Does that work? It doesn't because it's not showing us the rank 2s or the rank 3s. I'm not fully sold that. Okay, there we go. Well, so we have these, but these I think we can still sell. The rank 4s, I think there should still be enough of a market that we can probably sell them. So we're not going to bother disenchanting those. All right, and we're on my jewel crafter. Let's go ahead and queue up a bunch of the enchanting crystals. And we're not going to run a full auctionator scan for this just yet. We're just going to literally craft this one item and try and stay as focused as we can here. Incanter's Shard, right? That's the one. That's the enchanting tool. Yep. And like I said, again, even with jewel crafting, look at how much profit we have in these enchanting tools. I mean, on Illidan, which is literally one of the fullest servers in the North American region, but also in the world, I'm still able to make 814 gold per craft. And with all these people who are leveling up concentration alts for enchanting, you best believe that a lot of them are probably not going through the effort of setting a min-max jewel crafter up to craft their own profession equipment. And so that's going to sell very well. I mean, you can see that the daily average sale rate is 12.5, right? And I've said it before, I'll say it again, one of my favorite sayings, which is, in a gold rush, you sell pickaxes and shovels. That's the way you get rich. And for WoW, that generally means profession equipment, profession tool accessories, and the stones and the profession stones that you can put on your profession tool to give you more gathering stats, and the potions and flasks. Well, not potions, but the files that give you bonus crafting stats are also great for that. And I've said it before, but you know what? Let me repeat myself here. The nice thing is that generally when it comes to profession stuff, people are willing to spend more gold simply because of the fact that they view it as investments, right? So they think they're going to make gold by buying those items, and so they're generally a little bit less price sensitive. For gear, they may cheap out of it, but for profession equipment, they're willing to spend a bit more simply because they think they're going to make that gold back, right? And hopefully they do. I'm not saying that we're trying to scam anyone here or anything like that, but yeah, they're going to be willing to spend more gold because of the fact that they view it as an investment. When did WoW implement tools for professions like that? Yes, I mean, Enchanting always had the rod. But yeah, none of the other professions had profession equipment other than like fishing and I think cooking. I guess like skinning, you needed a skinning knife and like you needed a mining pick and stuff like that. But like the profession gear that gives you stats started in Dragonflight. Yeah, that's when they basically revamped the entire profession system and made it the awesome system that we have now. With the profession gear and with crafting stats and with the profession talent trees and stuff like that. Yeah, that was all added in Dragonflight, and honestly, it is still very confusing. I feel like for a lot of players, but hey, that's why I'm here. I'm here to try and hopefully simplify things or like make things a little bit easier to understand. Is my hope, at least. Hopefully I'm able to do that. You suffer around Shadowlands. Yeah, fair enough, dude. Shadowlands professions were broken as all hell. Mainly because the main way to make... Well, again, the complicated professions really began with Shadowlands. Because that's when they added, like, optional reagents and things, right? I think it was either Shadowlands or BFA. It may have been... Was it maybe late BFA? I feel like it was Shadowlands that they added the optional reagents. And that's when it got a little bit more complicated. Because Shadowlands, you could make a lot of gold by just using the optional crafting reagents to craft different level items, right? Different level items, and then you could pick stats with the missives, and you could determine all of those things. But it was pretty complicated. Like you still needed to know what you were doing. There was a lot of gold to be made from just that gear. The other thing that was a game changer was just legendaries, right? The crafted legendaries that we had in Shadowlands were amazing for gold making. I made a stupid amount of gold off of that, right? But it was a very complicated system, and it was a system that required you to invest a whole bunch because you basically needed to upfront for each like slot of gear, like if you wanted to do leather boots, right? You probably needed to invest anywhere from 200,000 to 500,000 gold upfront in crafting crappy quality, like rank 1 versions of it, before you could craft, crafting level 1 versions of it, 2 versions of it, and level 3 versions of it, and then from rank 4 is when you started to be able to make big gold, and you'd very quickly start to pay that off then. But it was definitely not a system that was particularly intuitive. Not a system that I think you could really probably do scalably without add-ons at the very least. And then also you need a bunch of capital to enter that market. If you had all of those things, you would make stupid amounts of gold. But I think it wasn't a great system. Dragonflight was a very cool system, but again, if you got behind, like if you weren't super invested in professions from week 1, you were permanently behind because there was no catch-up mechanic. And so as a result, it was very easy to fall behind. Lord knows that outside of my main and maybe one or two other characters, and then after a while even my main, I just couldn't get myself to do all of the weekly knowledge points every single week, right? Do all of the dirt farming and all of that. And so I fell behind as well, which is why I think they made 2 major changes that made professions a lot better for everyone in the War Within. Which was one, exactly, the catch-up mechanic is great because it allows people to maybe the first couple weeks they were, I don't know, maybe enjoying the new expansion, maybe enjoying leveling and doing all that, as opposed to just like crafting, right? I mean, I did a good bit of both, but I definitely made less gold because of it. But at least now I can still catch up, you know what I mean? Which Dragonflight never really had that. Once you were behind, you were permanently behind. Which didn't mean that you made no gold, but you definitely would make less gold by a pretty wide margin than a lot of than anyone who's really, focused on it from week 1. But yeah, so I mean, the number one change that they made, one of the changes that they made that really helps people. Helps casuals stay on top of their professions and compete in that market, like in whatever market they choose, is definitely the catch-up system. But then number 2 is also the concentration mechanic, right? Concentration is great because you don't really need to have all of your knowledge points and everything min-maxed, and you can still make a decent bit of gold by just using rank 2 materials, let's say, on this guy, and or I guess this guy needs a little bit more. He needs a couple of rank 3 materials, but then he can use concentration and still make a good amount of gold. You know what I mean? A respectable amount of gold. And this guy isn't spec'd at all into crafting weapon enchants, for instance. But he's still able to make, a decent amount. I mean, every 3 days he can make 2,800 times 3. That's what, like about 10 grand just from this craft, and that's not even the optimal one. I'm sure there's another enchant he can craft that's probably more optimal use of his concentration. But he can do that for 2 professions, and if you're a casual player, I mean, 30,000 gold for just hitting the button is not bad at all, and I think is great because it encourages a lot more players to engage with the profession system. Yeah. And I'm always a fan of that being the case, because I think WoW, I've said it before and I'll say it again, WoW is at its absolute best when casual players are the most engaged with the game. Dude, what happened to the profit margins on these? Gosh dang. I mean, we'll still make a boatload of gold selling these on other realms, but I'm surprised to see it this low, to be honest. All right, let's queue up 20 of these bad boys, because we're starting to near the time that we need to start winding down on the stream. 20. Let's buy our mats. And I don't think for these it makes sense for me to use the missives. I think I'm just going to craft them in bulk. And then if we proc the resourcefulness ones, we'll sell them for more. Let's see. Yeah, dude, this is the thing. It's like people don't understand markets. And so they just dump the resourcefulness and I mean, for enchanting, resourcefulness and ingenuity are particularly in demand. But they dump them at the same price as all of the other tools, which you shouldn't be doing. Dude, isn't ingenuity become stealthily the new like in demand enchanting rod? Yeah, so this is what I mean, right? See, you can grab the all the other enchanting rods for like 490 gold, but if you want an ingenuity one, you're gonna have to spend almost 2 grand. And so there's a good case to be made that you can probably even pay off using a missive on these rods to craft these profitably. Do I have them all listed at 500G? I wonder how much it would actually cost. Let's quickly do the math to just see here for kicks and gigs. If we slap an ingenuity missive on here, it's like $1 grand. You can probably craft them for cheaper. But if we do that, our crafting cost is about 1,300 gold. We can sell them for 1,800 gold or 1,900 gold, which is pretty decent. What are missives? So missives are basically these optional crafting reagents that looks like this that will allow you to determine what stat you get on the item. So by default, if you don't use a missive, whenever you craft any of these items, it's completely randomized as to which of the stats you get. This is true for profession equipment as well as for combat gear, right? Same thing with like this enchanted spearwood wand, right? If we craft it without a missive, it'll roll 2 of any random stats. If, however, we use a missive, we can then determine what stats we want to have on the item. So for instance, we can use missive of the Aurora, which will give it versatility and haste. Or we can use missive of the Fever Flare, which will give it mastery and haste. And basically there exists missives for all of the different stat combinations. And for all of the different profession stats that it can roll as well. So yeah, when you have profession accessories, for instance, you'll see a big difference in prices. I mean, as we just saw, there's a big difference in prices for enchanting rods that have resourcefulness or crafting. I mean, crafting speed is the worst. I don't know who's using crafted speed. But yeah, definitely more than multi-craft. Well, for enchanting. For other professions, like for alchemy, multi-craft will sell at a premium. Resourcefulness generally sells pretty well for most professions. Ingenuity will do better on professions that do a lot of concentration crafts, right? And enchanting, everyone and their mothers setting up concentration alts for concentration build alts for enchanting. And that's why the ingenuity tools are selling at a massive premium like that. That's more of a crafted armor item enchanting. I mean, yeah, any crafted equipment that has stats on it. So, I mean, yeah, crafted gear, gear and weapons, and then also profession tools. If you're crafting a blue profession tool, right, like the rare stuff, or heck, an epic profession accessory, you definitely want to slap a missive on there. Because you don't want to spend, I mean, in the case of this will set you back like 20,000 gold, right? You don't want to spend 20,000 gold and then have it roll crafting speed. I mean, you'll be able to craft your enchants super quick, but none of them will be profitable because you're not going to have any resourcefulness or ingenuity on them. And I mean, depending on what you're crafting, multi-craft, if you can proc multi-craft, then multi-craft would also earn you a lot more gold. So yeah, for your profession accessories, not your accessories, the accessories have fixed stats. For the profession tools, you always want to slap a missive on there. Because if you're spending 20 grand, you may as well spend an extra 800 gold on a missive to make sure that the tool is actually useful beyond just giving you skill. All right, and the other thing that we're going to want to do for enchanting, of course, is to shatter essence, which will give us a buff that gives us some more resourcefulness We're not using Ingenuity, and we can't proc multi-craft on the profession accessory, so that doesn't matter. But we do want the resourcefulness, because it's 165 extra resourcefulness from the buff. Jeez, that's significant. So Cylindrius, you'll see here we didn't use a missive while crafting these, and you'll see that we have a mixture of resourcefulness, multi-craft, ingenuity. We probably have some crafting speed in there as well, which, like I said, are the worst. They're trash tier as far as I'm concerned. But if you can't, if you don't have a lot of gold and you just want the plus skill that the profession accessory gives you, then yeah, go for crafting speed. It's still better than nothing. I mean, so much so that if you have to pick between getting a rank 5 tool or using a missive, I would say use the missive for sure. Because you're better off having a whole bunch. You're better off having a little bit less of a stat that's actually good than having a whole bunch of a stat that isn't going to make you anything. Like, that isn't going to make you any more gold. Rank 5 tool. Yeah, so basically most gear, including profession gear in the War Within, since Dragonflight, has a quality to it. So you'll see here these enchanting rods that we just crafted. Because of the fact that our guy is fully maxed out on all of his skills, he's able to craft these at rank 5. If he was to have less skill, let's pick an item that maybe he has less skill in this. He would craft this at rank 4 instead. So instead of an eye level 558, it would craft at eye level 554. And that can go all the way down to 545 if he's not spec'd into it at all. Oh, I still have to do the weekly quests and the weekly knowledge point sources for this guy. Yeah, exactly. Item quality. But okay, we finally have our enchanting gear, and let's go ahead and pull out a rod. Dude, how did we only proc 2 resourcefulness tools? Are you kidding me? Are the rest of these... Oh, dude, multi-craft is kind of trash for enchanting as well. At least we got a good amount of the ingenuity ones, because those are actually things. Pull out a rod. Fair enough. All right, I hear it now. Thanks, Cylindrius. But okay, we have all of our enchanting accessories. Let's go ahead and equip. We have the hat. We have the enchanter's shard. And then we have our resourcefulness runed bismuth rod. And the reason we're equipping them right now is just for more skill, so that hopefully we have a better chance of getting higher quality mats when we're disenchanting things for skill. All right, I think we should be good to disenchant all these, right? Let's just do a quick little pass. Make sure that nothing's at max. I mean, it's probably easier to just do this. Rank 5, we don't have any rank 5 anything. Do we have any rank 4s or anything? No, we don't. So we can comfortably just spam the Trade Skill Master Destroy Next button to disenchant all of these items. And we're doing that for 2 reasons. One, because it'll give us enchanting skill points, right? The second is because we'll get our weekly knowledge points from here. And then the third is that we'll also be getting that'll also help us get closer to our catch-up knowledge points for enchanting. Now, most of these items are selling for like 190. You'll see down here at the bottom that why is Excellent not working? Oh god. Dude, I hate doing things on alt. Okay, so it's showing up just... Oh, you know what? I know what the issue is. It's not set up to own items poor. Boom. Why is it not taking the profile from... Have I just never set it up for this tomb? Anyway, that's completely besides the point. But yeah, you'll see at the bottom here, because of the fact that we have such low skill and that we're not spec'd into enchanting, we'll mainly just be getting rank 1 dust. And not a whole bunch of it either. So most of these disenchants we're still losing gold on. But if we were to spec into disenchanting, this would be profitable. Gleaming shards aren't too bad, right, from the blues. I mean, admittedly, we could, on paper, make more gold by selling these items. But selling anything below rank 5 is going to take a good bit more time to do. And so usually I don't bother with it. Of course, if we were maxed out on our enchanting skill, we would be making more gold because we'd be getting higher quality and more of each of these mats. What's our enchanting skill at? I should probably keep that open just in the corner here. Although I don't want to have craft sim open is the main reason that I'm not keeping change. Okay, we're at 15 skill, so we've still got a bit more to destroy things. What's up, Daryl? Welcome to the stream. How's it going on YouTube? Is there a way to bind that destroy button to a key? Yep. You can just create a macro that basically has /tsm. Actually, wait. I had a macro somewhere. Yeah, here. You just type in /click space tsm destroy btn, and then that should automatically click this button for you. I'll be honest, it does bug out a little bit. And I don't know if TSM, let's see here, in the macro option, they've removed destroy from this macro thing. Otherwise, you could bind it very easily to your scroll wheel, which it used to show up here. It used to give you the option to bind it into the macro. They've removed it, and I'm not sure why. But what I'll probably do is let me jot that down, because I'll hop onto the TSM Discord and ask them if there's a way to still do it, so that I can hopefully have an answer for you on next stream, on Monday's stream. But if you're doing something like a disenchant shuffle, right, and you're going to be disenchanting the exact same thing, there is a macro that you can use, which I think is literally just like the macro would basically look like. Do I have one already created on this account? I may not. Dude, I have so many random macros. It's 20 years of playing this game. But I mean, basically, at a very simple level. Oh, let's see if this version of it works. Of course, now I'm out of disenchantables. So give me 1 second to find something that I can actually disenchant. I need to log off this guy. I need to craft a bunch of bracers to disenchant. But I think one of the versions of this macro should work. All right, what should we destroy? Because all of these I can sell profitably, which is why I'm hesitant to destroy them. But I do also want to test out if that macro works for you. Presumably I could do it with something from Dragonflight. We just need anything we can disenchant. But I don't want to disenchant anything particularly valuable if I can avoid it. Boom. I mean, okay, technically, no, this I could sell at a profit as well. But I want to test out that macro for you. So let's see if this works, Daryl. Oh, I don't know why my camera's off either. Let's see. So this is the new version of the macro. And that doesn't work at all. Never mind. Let's see. I have that one, and I have... yeah, I think the way it's supposed to work is that I think this command is supposed to work. You know what? Let's try doing just this part. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I've just got too many actions in this, and maybe that's what's messing it up. save, TSM destroy button. Let's see, maybe if we just have that button. No, it still doesn't seem to want to work. And I don't think spamming it is working either. Yeah, annoyingly this isn't working. But I hope that doesn't stop you from subscribing on YouTube. Cheeky little plug right there. Yeah, I mean, you still have to manually click the button, which is kind of annoying. Yeah. It seems like that macro should work. I'm guessing the reason that they've removed it from the Trade Skill Master options is because of the fact that they can't get the macro to work either. Am I missing it here? No, my auctions, shopping, sniper, vendor, all auctioning, confirmation, crafting, craft next. Yeah, it's not on here. Yeah, but I'll drop by the TSM Discord after stream and check it out. Macros have been a little weird lately. Yeah, I feel like they broke a lot of macros with the pre-patch, and I'm sure some of them were intentional. But honestly, with Blizzard, dude, it's so hard to tell what they like. When something doesn't work in this game, it's so hard to tell if it's an actual like intentional design choice that they made, or that it was, or if it's literally just a bug. Because so often. Like, it'll seem like something's a bug, and they'll come out and be like, no, that's intentional. We meant it to work that way. And it's like, did you, though? I mean, like one of the things that I was the most excited for in this expansion was that they were going to make it so that, because on the beta, the way it worked is that if you completed a quest on one character, you unlocked all of the different appearances that quest gave you. So let's say you completed it on a clothy, you would unlock, the leather appearances, you'd unlock the mail appearances, you'd unlock the plate appearances, all that stuff. And that's how it worked on the beta, and I was really excited for that because I was like, oh, that's going to unlock so much transmog for some of the characters that I don't play as much, right? I don't play my hunter as much as I would like. And so as a result, he doesn't have any sick transmogs. I have him on my warband page, so I want to be able to see, all of, I want him to have a sick transmog for that screen. But it's a lot of effort to try and do all that. And then when they dropped the actual live game, they had fixed that bug, and it didn't work that way anymore. And they were like, no, that's intentional. That's how we meant it to work. It was just a bug on the beta. And it's like, well, why though? It was actually a cool feature. Why did you change it back to the unfun version? Exactly. And then they reverse course because everyone, the transmog community was like, dude, what the hell? That was dope. Make that happen. And so then finally they were like, all right, we'll do it in the next, I think in 11.0.5, right? The 20th anniversary patch. There are two other macros I couldn't do unrelated to the one you tried. Yeah, they broke a handful of them. Blizzard broke the ability to macro that. Wait, to macro what? The TSM destroy button specifically? Well, I doubt that. You think Blizzard targetedly broke that one? I doubt they did that, because the thing is, you can still create a macro to disenchant. Oh, Sapu said that. Okay, never mind. No, because if Sapu said that, then that's what's gone. No, because my gut instinct was that it probably is that it's something on TSM's end. Because let's be honest, I love TSM. It's made me the most gold of any add-on out there, right? And I absolutely love it. It's great, but their setups can be a little bit jank, right? I mean, even now, the crafting costs that it puts out are weird, but that is what it is, right? I can imagine that's probably pretty tough for them to sort out. But there's a lot of other little bugs as well. It does crash quite a bit. It doesn't track cross-region things super well. It struggles with items of different qualities. Yeah. The transmog community is a big source of Blizzard income. Yeah, I mean with all the things they sell on the Blizzard store for appearances. But that aside, you got to keep in mind like who is subbed in between major patches. It's just people who are into cosmetics. If you're not into cosmetics, you're probably going to let your sub lapse between major patches, right? Yeah, I mean if you're a hardcore raider or like a Mythic Plus doer or like a PvPer, there is a good shot that you know that you may not play the game as much during the downtimes. People who are into cosmetics, those are year-round subscribers and players, right? Because when there's a quiet period, we're out there farming mounts and transmog and whatever it is. You know what I mean? So I feel like whenever they do things that are against cosmetics, even though people may not think it's a big deal, I feel like they need to know where their bread is buttered, right? Like, I mean, I spent all of the time between the last major patch of Dragonflight and the War Within. I spent a good amount of that time just collecting mounts, only for them to slap me in the face by doing two things. I've ranted about this. I rant about this dang near every stream, but I'm gonna keep doing it until they fix it. All right. I collected 606 mounts, or I collected 600 mounts, only to get slapped in the face because they didn't add another achievement for collecting 600 mounts. The highest mount collecting achievement is still for 500 mounts. I mean, never mind the fact that for some reason this is bugged, and I think I have the blue Dragonhawk mount, or is it an Alliance? I think this is just an Alliance Horde thing. But either way, my point is they didn't add anything beyond the 500 mount achievement, which launched with Dragonflight, I'm fairly certain. So that's a slap in the face in and of itself. But then the other slap in the face is that the reward for collecting 500 mounts is the Ultraworldly Auto Carrier, this mount here. Gorgeous mount, right? Super cool looking. It does annoy me that we don't get unique models for collecting mounts, but fine, they're lazy, whatever, it is what it is, right? It's the only mount that can't skyride. It works for steady flying, but you need to manually swap over to steady flying, which is dumb as all heck. At the very least, if they don't have the animations or they don't have the time or energy to do it, make it so that anytime I hop on any other mount, you can skyride, right? But when I hop on this mount specifically, it just swaps it back to steady flight, right? That's the very least that they could do. But they haven't done that, and so I never get to use this mount because I'm not going to switch on steady flying just to use this mount and then swap back every time. It's a water mount? I mean, yeah, all the Audix are a water mount. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. They don't even have an excuse for the animations. Well, I think it's probably the like surge ahead and like those abilities, right? Like that they don't have anything more. But if they could figure it out for all the other mounts, why not the Audic? I mean, and I think the reason is probably because the Audic is the only one of those mounts that can fly, but it's on the little cloud anyway. And I think that's how they justify it from a lore perspective of being able to like to fly, right? But then, if we've got look at horses, exactly, dude. That's my point. Like, if they can justify freaking horses flying, why can't they do that with this Audic? It's just it's almost like they went out of their way because it's the only mount that works that way. I don't. Do I have the default mount interface? No, both of these characters have the add-on. But it's the only one that in the interface says steady flying only mount. And I'm like, so you guys went out of your way to stick that little note on this mount, which means someone looked at it. It's not an oversight. Someone looked at it and decided, nah, screw them. Which is also doubly stupid because let's be honest, if you have 500 mounts, you probably have a couple of store mounts, right? Now, I do have a couple of store mounts. I paid for all of them with tokens. I've never like bought a mount. Like the closest I've gotten is probably the annual subscription mount, right? And I do that just because I know I'm gonna say subbed anyway. I might as well get the mounts that come from it as well. But yeah, anyways, rant done. But yeah, I'm too lazy to unsub as well. And then, like I'm saying, I also do it for the rewards. Exactly, downtime, rare, transmog, mount farm time. Dude, the mounts that you get from the Traveler's Log alone, right? I mean, I think the Traveler's Log was a great addition for people who are interested in cosmetics. Also because they started putting FOMO items on there. And I do not get why on earth Blizzard keeps adding FOMO content into this game. It's just so pointless. Like, it's just so dumb. What is the advantage of that? I don't get the people who defend that as well, who are like, oh, well, if you didn't play for exactly 1 month, like if you didn't play for exactly like 2 years, for like 6 months in BFA, which was a trash tier expansion, as far as I'm concerned. It was probably my least favorite expansion. If I have to look back, honestly, yeah. Probably my least favorite expansion. And the expansion that I played the least of was BFA. But because I didn't play during BFA intensely, I don't have the long boy, right? The dinosaur mount. And yeah, there's people who are like, oh, well, if you weren't there for that, like, then you should never be able to get the mount again. And it's like, no, that's dumb as hell. Why are we encouraging Blizzard to, like, if they put out something crappy, I'm not going to play it, and I shouldn't be penalized in terms of cosmetics for it. You know what I mean? Ooh, you got Belladar spawn yesterday? Congratulations. Good stuff. Good stuff. That's a sick looking mount right there. Belladar spawn. This is a dope looking mount. I feel like they could have done the eyes a little bit better. It definitely looks like they just like poked two little. The eyes look a little bit comical given how like dark and broody the mount itself is. But that's probably because I have it set to low settings, because otherwise my computer kind of starts to jank out a bit if I'm streaming and running 2 WoW clients at max settings. I remember when FOMO was seasonal events. Exactly. The only FOMO was the small pre-patch events, if I recall correctly. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird that they do that. The pre-Wrath had those super crazy rare haunted necklaces. Yeah, dude, I bought one of those. I bought one of those because I think I played the Wrath launch event, but I didn't get one of those haunted spirit things, right? And so I don't think I paid that much for it. I think I sniped it for like 10 grand when it was going for like 200 grand. And then I thought about flipping it, but I was like, oh, it's a pretty cool item for me to have. And then and so I had that like little thing following me around for like a long while. But then one of the times, like at some point I did decide, all right, screw it, let me just sell it, because I think it hit like 500 grand or something crazy like that. And I was like, all right, it's not worth that much to me, because I don't care that much about it. I'd rather have the gold. And I listed it on the auction house, and then I stopped playing the game for like a month or two, and it expired in my mailbox, and it wasn't in the item restoration tool. So that's how I ended up losing it. Dude, the amount of gold I've probably lost at this point, honestly, there's a good chance that it's 10 million gold that I've lost in expired mails. Because I know I lost the Haunting Spirit item, which I think probably goes for even more now, right? We can probably check that in the auction house real quick. Forgot that I can't dragon ride or sky ride on my stupid 500 mount achievement mount. This game is the worst. Haunting Spirit, is it? No, that's not the... What is it? Lost Haunt... The hell is it called? Lost Memento. Okay, yeah, that's what that sounds more like it. Is it just not... Dude, is literally no one selling one on Illidan right now? Cannot spell for the life of me. Haunted Memento. There we go. All right, it's selling for like 700,000 gold right now. But yeah, so, I mean, that could have been 700,000 gold richer. This is probably one of the coolest items in the game. Do not get rid of it. Hey, fair enough. I mean, yeah, so things like this, I think you can still make the case for having as a FOMO item. And the reason why, and of course this is coming from someone who has a lot of gold, so maybe this is just my gold privilege speaking, but it's still available to characters. You know what I mean? You could still buy it off the auction house. I mean, it's sort of the same thing with the TCG mounts, right? I love my Spectral Kitty. I I love the Spectral Tiger. It's a great mount, but I don't have as much of an issue with it because you can still buy it off the auction house. Now, it's going to be stupidly expensive, and you're going to have to farm a long time for it, but you can still get it. I'm okay with that. The same way that I'm okay with them, I'm okay with them, the mythic mounts becoming 1% drop rate. Is it great? No, but you know what? I get it. All right, like if you didn't get it when you were supposed to get it, you can still get it. It's just you're probably gonna have to farm it for a bit longer, which is fine, right? That's fine. That's how video games work, right? It's fine. I'm structurally okay with that as a concept. Just removing items straight up and giving me no way to attain them ever again, that doesn't feel great. Yeah. And like I know a lot of people have said like, oh, the Brutosaur they should put onto the trading post at some point. And I don't know that I fully agree with that, because I feel like the trading post is great. It's a great way to avoid FOMO and things like that. But I think it is a little bit easy to get items off the trading post, a little bit easier than it should be for items that were very hard to get the first time around, right? Something like the Brutosaur, I don't think fits well for the trading post, because it was an item that was there as as a gold sink for people who spend a lot of time making gold in this game. I think the move is they should put it back on a vendor or give us a recolor that's on a vendor for like 10 million gold, right? Account for the inflation. Make me pay more. I'm fine to pay more gold for it because I didn't do the thing. And let's be honest, 5 million gold during BFA is probably equivalent to at least 10 million gold in the War Within. This whole idea of, oh, you need to get it off the black market auction house. I mean, let's be honest. 99.99% of people who want to get something off of... Dude! Oh, I already have the Swift Sicilian Panther. I thought this was the rarer one. I was like, how's it going for 200,000 gold? But yeah, making me get it off the black market auction house, that's dumb as heck. Basically, it's as good as not having it available. It may as well be removed from the game for the vast majority of players. Because even though I'm willing to spend 10 million gold on it, the bid's going to go much higher than that. Or, well, yeah, I guess I was going to say, or just let me bid more on it, but I guess they'd have to fix the player gold cap. Because right now, characters are limited to 10 million gold. Or 9,999,999 gold is the maximum you can hold, which is why you can't bid more than that on the black market auction house. But I feel like that's another solution for the Longboy mount. Because let's be honest, it's going to become a lot more of a bidding war if you can bid... I don't know, if you can bid 25 million gold on it, if you can bid, 30, 40 million gold on it, right? I feel like that's the easiest, simplest solution that Blizzard could do. I don't hope they do that, because I think it's still gatekeeping it to a stupid degree, where, I mean, their whole excuse for removing the Longboy mount from the game was that they didn't want people to they wanted people to have to go into town to use the auction house so that it felt more social. And that's, I think it's kind of a brain dead philosophy, but fine, if that's what they think, that's what they think. They designed this game, right? They're doing a lot more right than my ideas, right? I don't think they should be asking me for necessarily everything. But if they're going to do that, then be consistent with it and then convert, convert the auctioneer that's on that mount into something else, right? Give them an item upgrader like we had back in Mists of Pandaria. They've done that before. When I bought this Grand Expedition Yak mount, the guy here allowed you to, I don't remember if it was item upgrades or allowed you to change your stats around, right? That was something that impacted player power and made a meaningful difference. The same way that the auction house mount does. And they nerfed it after the expansion because they wanted people to go into town to upgrade their items or to change stats or whatever. And they replaced it with the Transmogrifier. So they've done that before. They've screwed us over before like that. If they were willing to do it then, why aren't they willing to do it for people who have the Longboy? And again, I'm not even saying they should do that. I think instead they should just, don't even, if you're worried that the Longboy people are going to get upset, which, first of all, screw them. They already got them out. They've already gotten enough years of getting to use it with the personal preference. And I also think it's just weirdly gatekeepy anytime people are like, oh, because I got this thing, no one else should be able to get it. I mean, things like gladiator mounts, okay, fine. I'll give it up for that. That is actually a skill thing, right? Yeah, like ahead of the curve mounts, sure, why not? We can gatekeep those a little bit if you want. I mean, they already kind of undid that by having the slime cap mount available on the vendor for super easy. I kind of hate that because I spent like a couple million gold and like also like 8 or 9 hours going through the raids to get the slime cat, this Jiggleworth senior mount, right? And then last season of Dragonflight, they just threw it on a vendor for something that would take you maybe 10 minutes in LFR. Which, I mean, yeah, sucks for me because I wasted gold and time. But guess what? I don't care. I was happy with that change. I was glad that more people get the mount. Like, what are we doing here? It's a mount. It's not that deep. If someone wants to collect this mount, I don't want them, like, seeing me ride it around and be like, oh, I wish I could get that mount one day. Like, no, yeah, let them get it. What's the big deal? It's cosmetics. It's pixels on a screen, folks. Let's not gatekeep this. We're all here to have fun. Let me catch up on chat. Sorry, I'm in rant mode now. I think we're gonna wrap up the stream pretty soon here. But yeah, we covered the we covered my 3 big rants on this stream, right? Which is the auction house mount, the 500 mount achievement / 600 mount achievement, and we covered the profession system rant. I think we got our big 3. Lol, the text. Yeah, so the haunted memento text, that isn't actually the default game thing. It's this add-on called All the Things, that is either the greatest add-on ever or the worst add-on ever for someone who likes collecting things in this game. Thought it was a vanilla one. No, I think that's what I think. The vanilla one is the one that actually looks like a tiger. I think that's the Swift Zulian Panther. Do we have hidden for character? What's that called? Swift Zulian Tiger. Yeah, this one. Dude, this is still one of the sickest looking mounts in the game. But yeah, this is again only available on the black market auction house. I mean, I would hope that with classic time walking coming, they give us a way of getting this, because that would be sick as all hell. I mean, do a not a recolor, but do different armor, or like do a higher res version of it and slap it on classic time walking. I don't think they will, because I don't think they've announced it, and I think they've already announced all the rewards. But yeah, the other thing about this mount is that, I mean, sure, part of me wants it for the auction house. That would be cool to have. But honestly, realistically, I don't know how much of a difference it would make. It would save me maybe 30 seconds to a minute every time I need to head to the auction house, because I generally hang out in Dornigal anyway. And so I don't think they would change much of that. The bulk of me wants it just because it's a super cool looking mount, right? It's a super dope looking mount, and it's one of the largest mounts in the game. It just seems like it would be really fun to ride. And also going back and replaying some of the BFA storylines and things like that, you see them riding that mount and you instantly want one of them. If nothing else, I hope they don't do this, but it would still be better than nothing, is just give us a passenger version of this mount that doesn't come with the auctioneer, right? Put that on a vendor. I'll buy that. It's just a cool, unique mount that is so iconic. It's the only part of BFA that I actually like. I honestly would struggle to find anything else good to say about BFA. I mean, yeah, I could probably come up with a couple of other things, but this is the main one, is that I think this is the coolest thing they did that entire dang expansion. For some people, the stuff in game is all they have going on in life. I mean, that's more concerning than it is that I'm going to be okay with that being the thing for them. Your Roman Empire. And everyone else getting it means that a little bit of special stuff they now had is meaningless. I mean, but why though, right? That's how that works, right? It's the same thing as having full bis, right? They have full bis. Why is cosmetics the thing we gatekeep on then? Should Blizzard make it so that you can never, or mounts specifically? I guess some of the cosmetics, but it's mainly mounts that they do this with, right? They don't do it so much with pets. They don't do it so much with transmog either. It's really just mounts that they do it with. But I mean, as an example, right? Okay, I unlocked the full, transmog for Mythic. Let's say, I don't know, for Mythic, one of the expansion gears, right? You unlock the mythic version of this. Well, the next expansion, or the expansion after that, everyone and their mother is going to be able to unlock this. So it's going to be harder harder in some ways, in that they're going to have to run it a lot more, probably. Actually, that's not true. It's going to be, in fact, if anything, easier for them to unlock this appearance. And players are fine with that. So why is mounts the thing that we draw the line at? It just seems really weird. If you really enjoy something, you'd want others to enjoy it as well, but some people don't. They want everyone to suffer the same way they did to get it, or else their offer was meaningless and they feel bad, like a sunken cost kind of thing. I mean, see, the thing is like, again, they can still have their cake. I'm not saying put it back on the same vendor for the exact same cost. I'm not saying put it back for 5 million gold and now people, have an easier time making gold. It's easier to make 5 million gold maybe now than it was in BFA. But okay, fine. You don't want it back for 5 million. Fine. Make it 10 million gold. Make it harder. Make it cost more. Make it, you know what I mean? Make whatever the things are. Make it harder. Why does it need to be out of the game entirely? Like old people saying they have to walk uphill both ways to school. Yeah. I mean, people do it, but like, why are we gatekeeping this, guys? What's like, what? I don't know. I'll just never understand the mindset. Aside from like vanilla Nax, like all mogs are still available. Exactly. I mean, even Nax, they added back the transmog. No, they added it back through the like transmog unlock thing. And look, to be fair, in recent years, it looks like Blizzard is looking back at things that are unobtainable and adding them in fun, cool ways, right? I think Remix was great. I think Remix was amazing. I want to see remixes for every single expansion. I don't know how much I'm going to enjoy the Shadowlands one or the BFA one, but I still want to see it at some point. You know what I mean? So you buy the mount for a few trading coins while they had to work for it. So they cope by degrading the value of your mount based on how you acquired it. Instead of just being happy, you also got to enjoy something they like. I mean, see, I can understand that argument being made for the trading post. I still think it's kind of weird, but fine. You had to work really hard. I was mildly annoyed by the fact that, the hand mounts, right? Where is it? Family. We gotta wrap up the stream. I'm getting late here. Where is it? Vehicles, hands. No, I don't need hidden for care. Not only hidden. Here we go. Hold up. Didn't I? Dude. No. No. We're not doing this. Wait, what? Why don't I have the hand mount? Is it on this month's trading post? Is that what's going on? Although I could have sworn I already bought it. I think it was last month's trading post, and I'm fairly certain I bought it. If it was last month's trading post and I don't... Oh, never mind, I didn't buy it yet. Oh, thank God. Oh, jeez. Dude, that freaked me out. I thought I missed it last month. No, but what I was trying to say was that like a month ago, like a month or two ago, actually after the launch of the War Within, I paid someone like 200,000 gold to unlock this hand mount for me, right? Because it's such a unique model, and I was like, oh, it's such a cool mount, right? I've always wanted it. I never got around to getting it during, damn it. I never got around to getting it during Shadowlands and whatever. And so I unlocked, and I was super excited about it, right? I spent 200 grand, which isn't a huge amount, but I mean, it's a decent enough amount, right? Spent a good bit on it, and I was super stoked that I had this super unique mount model that was pretty hard to get for most people, right? Like, not a lot of people have it, not a lot of people ride it around, and it is what it is. And then this month they added it. They literally just added it to the trading post. Now, I mean, does it suck that it happens right after I get this mount that I spent a good bit on, spent a good amount of time getting, and now people can just get it for literally logging into the game and for paying for subscription? I mean, maybe, but I don't really care. It's a cool enough mount. I want more people to have it. It's a dope looking mount. Blizzard and the artists put a good amount of time into designing it. I mean, more people should enjoy it. It's not the end of the world, right? It's fine. It's a different color too. Exactly. I mean, that's the other thing, right? But even if literally if they put this exact same amount on there, I wouldn't really care too much. I mean, see, I realize that I'm saying that, and people are probably like, oh, because it's not happened to you, right? Like, when they put the exact same amount on. I think the one that I would feel some kind of way about is maybe the Spectral Tiger. But even then, I would just tell myself that, look, get over it. Like, what's the big deal? Like, I got it years ago. I spent a lot less back then on it than what it's worth now, and it's still, as far as I'm concerned, the coolest looking mount in the game. And so if I would hate for other people to not be able to get it simply so that I can maintain some level of prestige in my own mind, right? Like, that's dumb. That's gatekeeping for no reason. Now, if it was on like a Twitch drop, again, I would be kind of annoyed, but it is what it is. If honestly, if it was a Twitch drop or like a Twitch subscriber benefit, I'd be all that happy, because hopefully you guys would watch my channel to unlock it. All right, let me catch up on chat, and then we're going to end the stream here. People gatekeep the weirdest stuff. Yeah, for sure, man. I don't know. People are weird, dude. Especially online. I would assume they would do WOD next. WOD? Yeah, dude, WOD time walking could be cool. There's some dope mounts. There's some decent transmog. I think people enjoyed the raids, right? That could be fun. Kato's controversial with this last raid, so they probably don't want to touch that. Well, I think they're also in a weird situation, because choosing Mists of Pandaria specifically to do the remix for was a weird choice, because now we've all played a bunch of Mists of Pandaria. So are we going to be excited next year when they announce Mists of Pandaria Classic? Is anyone really going to be like, oh yeah, we get to replay Mists of Pandaria? It's like, well, we did that at like 5 times the speed like a year ago. They've also said that they plan on bringing back, I mean, they're planning on doing more remixes, but they've also said specifically that they plan on bringing back Mists of Pandaria remix, like in specific. So I don't know how that all works, right? Because then they're splitting up, even if the players that want to play Mists of Pandaria again, they'd have to split them up between Mists of Pandaria Classic and Mists of Pandaria Remix, which is kind of weird. Monkas, what's Monkas? It's busy pulling out a rod, boys. That gold one wouldn't match my blue-white transmog, so yeah, fair enough. But okay, with that said, I do actually need to wind the stream down here, just because of the fact that yeah, I need to go. I need to get going. I still need to shower, shave, right, do all the things before I can even head out. Not trying to be late. Oh, it's that emote. Thank you. But yeah, with that said, we're going to wind the stream down here. Let's see. What all did we cover on today's stream? We went through and finally leveled up a Leatherworker, right? We put together the profession equipment build. We took a look at that. We covered the Enchanting catch-up system. And then I spent a bunch of time ranting. So yeah, overall, I think pretty decent stream. How are we feeling, boys? What do we think? But anyway, we'll be back on Monday at our regularly timed schedule, right? At the regularly scheduled time of noon GMT. And yeah, next Monday we'll be covering nothing tomorrow. No. I don't think we'll. Yeah, it's Friday today. Yeah, and tomorrow I'm a little bit busy with real life stuff again. So unfortunately, no bonus stream this week. But yeah, we'll be back on Monday, and on Monday we're going to be setting up Tailor and Enchanter right from scratch. Basically, I'm going to try and edit that into a little like starter's guide to getting started with professions in the War Within, which hopefully should be interesting to some people. I think I know a couple of people asked me on Discord, and I think I got some YouTube comments and stuff asking as well. And I think that would be probably the thing that's the most helpful to the most amount of people. So that's what we're going to do on Monday's stream. Wednesday stream, I've got something pretty cool planned. We'll see if that specific thing works out or not. Otherwise, we'll still have fun with it. I'll still put together a decent stream for you guys. And then Friday, of course, next Friday, we'll have the Gummy Pet giveaway. So if you don't have the Gummy Pet or the the limited edition tabards that you get from the real world promotion that's only available to US based players, join the stream on Friday to have a chance at winning that. With that said, if you enjoyed the stream, please consider dropping a sub. Twitch subs really help me out. I'm trying to crowdfund a less broken headset, right? You don't need to spend anything. If you're an Amazon Prime member, you get a Twitch Prime subscription free every month. And so when you hit the subscribe button, you could just check the little box and use up your Twitch Prime instead. It really helps me out. Yeah, beyond that, check out the YouTube channel, check out the Twitch VODs, right? Subscribe on YouTube, drop a like. If you're watching on Twitch, follow. Thank you so much for the follow, Cylindrius. I don't know if I mentioned that, but thank you so much for the follow. Very much appreciate that. Definitely helps me out as well. Yeah, comment, like, subscribe, do all of the things. You guys already know all of the things, right? Check out the Instagram, the TikTok. I haven't posted there in a while, but hopefully I'll get around to it sometime this weekend or otherwise early next week. Anyway, with that said, your boy is out. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great weekend ahead, right? Spend some time with family, spend some time with your significant other, with loved ones, right? And yeah, may the RNG gods be ever in your favor. I hope you guys make a bunch of gold, and I look forward to seeing all of you guys on Monday. Have fun, stay safe out there. Bye-bye.